trance, and prosper. Hi, I'm Professor Brian David Phillips, and welcome to Phandalin, Land of Opportunity. Let's get to it. Take it away, Michael.
Okay, so in our last adventure, the party went to Nomengard to see if they could attain any magic items to help Phandalin. And when they got there, they found that everyone was in fear because some monster was making gnomes disappear. And the party was able to discover that there was a mimic haunting the hallways. They were able to kill the mimic, and that cured the insanity of the king, who was so afraid that the mimic was going to eat his partner and co-king. And so as a reward for the valiant actions, the party was given a bunch of loot, and they're also given some supplies, which they've loaded up in the wagon. So they got like a crate of gnome bread, a barrel of gnome wine, and a barrel of gnome oil, as in addition to some other interesting items that are not really super powerful. They're all common items, but they're fun. Is there anything that you want to do before you leave Nomengard?
I'm going to slip that Featherfall token into my pocket.
Ah, I wanted that.
Okay, you can have it. I'm okay with that. Scott has
Are
it.
you really?
Yeah, I'm okay with it.
Okay.
Wanker is such a silly wanker. He doesn't need it.
No, it's okay. He wants it. You can only use it once, but hey, it saves your life.
You only can use once?
Yes.
Yes.
It's
a one-use item.
It's what we call a bullshit item.
You're like super low level.
forever.
You're only second level. You're not getting really fancy magic items. So everything you got is a common magic item. So basically they're like maybe just fun, but don't really have any effect, but are interesting and add character to your characters.
That is genuinely the definition
items.
of bullshit magic item. You just read the definition.
Okay, I still take it anyway.
Yeah,
It's one use,
fall.
but Featherfall, being able to Featherfall one time is better than plummeting to your death off a cliff.
Right.
Okay, does anyone want the wand of pyrotechnics?
I got 7 charges.
Yeah, that has 7 charges. Okay, if nobody wants it,
that.
I would like it.
Okay. I think that'd be good.
No, Kevin and Paul don't want it.
Well, yeah. Yeah, they telepathically told me they don't want shit.
There you go.
Okay, I guess that's it then. We just sell the rest.
Okay, nobody else wants anything, so let's Ooh, the breathing bubble. The breathing bubble.
That's not a bad item to keep.
Yeah, I'll take that. And Lorraine can have whatever she sees.
Yeah, with the breathing bubble, you remember that the gnomes were kind of like saying that was a failed magic experiment, because they wanted to make a flat breathing bubble, and so they were showing this is like the first version of it. It's just like this globe, and you put it on your head and you can breathe air. But their newer version, it's flat, and they can kind of like snap it, and then it becomes a circle. But it's not quite perfected yet. But they've moved on beyond this kind of fixed round, cumbersome breathing bubble that takes a lot of space. But it works.
It's a bubble.
Okay.
It's so what?
Oh, you have to carry around this big helmet.
Yeah. It's not. The newer version that they're making is going to be flat.
Oh, somebody
and
else can
snap it
carry
open.
it.
But this is like it's a big helmet.
Okay.
It's like one of those old divers helmets from like 10,000 Leagues Under the Sea or whatever, that kind of era. But it's like clear. It's like a fishbowl that you can put over your head.
We'll give that to Abiona then. Or Ori. I don't care. I don't want a big helmet I have to carry.
Yeah, me either.
Is it heavy?
No,
It's like a fishbowl.
but not a glass one.
It's
It's
like a
like a plastic fishbowl in weight.
yeah, yeah.
I want the cure wound scroll. I already use mine.
Okay.
Oh, she's looking at the other list.
The dwarf stuff, the dwarf should get them. It's useless for
Yeah.
us.
Yeah. And then,
Yeah, where?
Abiona, if you do pick Cure Wounds as one of your spells, it might be nice to give the scroll to someone else who doesn't have the ability to cure, such as Silly Wanker or Fjord or one of the monks. So that's just something to consider. But then again, also, if you're like in the back and you're not going to be hurt, then you can have the scroll to be used on other people who may die before you. So anyways, you have the scroll now. Is there anything else that is being claimed by any of you guys in terms of the items?
The metal meat pie. That's just you kiss it and just give you temporary hit points.
Yeah, basically.
Guiding hand scroll, what is it for?
You throw the guiding hands spell.
So it's like a tracking thing.
Yeah,
I don't
kind
have,
of. If you name a location, it will guide you to that location.
Okay, I guess it's useful. One can use it.
if nobody wants the metal meat pie, I take that too.
Well, yeah. Fjord, what do you want?
Fjord there? Fjord is spinning on my screen.
No, he's here.
Okay, yeah, I don't see him on my screen.
Pete, can you hear us? We can't hear you,
Nope,
Pete.
can't hear
You're
you.
muted.
Now you
Yeah,
muted. Now you're not.
he's unmuted now. So who took the breathing bubble? Anyone take the breathing bubble?
I don't think so. Nobody wants to carry it.
Pete, we can't hear you. And Pete is gone.
So anyways, there's Shield of Expression, Metal of the Meat Pie, Breathing Bubble, Clockwork Amulet, Hat of Wizardry. If nobody wants anything,
Well,
you can
no.
discuss
I
it
think
later.
Scott and I are both interested in that meat pie.
Yeah.
So let me say something like the Metal of the Meat Pie is especially helpful for someone who's going to get beat up a lot because it gives you temporary hit points, which means that you use those hit points before your real hit
Yeah.
points get
Right.
eaten into.
Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you,
Yeah,
Pete.
we can hear you, Pete.
Pete, did you want
And again, Metal
something
of the Meat
from
Pie
the...
is a one-shot item.
No, I'm fine.
Seal of extraction? What the hell does it do?
It's a shield and it makes funny faces if you want it to.
No, this is useless. I thought it's like an armor.
No.
It is an armor. It doesn't. It's a shield. It's fully functional as a shield, and it
Regular
also
shield.
makes funny faces.
Oh, so the enemy has to vote for something like distraction. They have a minus.
Depends on how you use the shield. So, anyways, it's fully functional as a shield, and it just does some extra stuff too.
So it will give you, I don't know, armor class, like +1
It
or
increases
something.
your armor class by 2, just like a normal shield would.
But I use a bow and arrow. I don't think I can carry the shield easily. No, probably not. Not.
All right. If no one actually,
Scott,
we
you
can
want
move
the
on
you
and
want the medal? You want the meat pie thing?
Who
No, I
gets
don't
beat
need
up
that.
more, you or me?
I think we both get beat up.
You're a fighter or what? What are you?
No, I'm a cleric, and
Go ahead
you're
and
a
have it.
sword. Okay, I'll take it. Okay. All right, Michael, I'm taking the medal of meat pie. This one shot thing. I don't
You
even
kind
like
of
meat
carry his
pie.
sword, that's good. Because you're always in front, you need that.
Yeah, I'm gonna use him as shield anyway. So
all right, so you are at Nomengard. So let's say that you traveled there in the morning. You got there in the early afternoon. It took you not too long to sweep through Nomengard and find the mimic and kill it. So it's like still kind of like early mid-afternoon. What do you want to do?
Uh, go to the next adventure hook.
So you were talking about returning, going by Umbridge Hill on your way back.
Yes.
Good map.
And the gnomes tell you, oh, take this trail over here. It's a really nice trail. It'll lead you directly to Umbridge Hill.
We will do that. We will go
And
directly to
so,
Umbridge Hill.
so after leaving Nomengard, you can head for Umbridge Hill. There's a smooth and easy to follow trail that will quickly take you to Umbridge Hill, and you can reach it late in the afternoon. And
We do that.
let me find Umbridge Hill.
We have done that. It's a done thing.
Driving up on Umber Hill, I could see the city lights. Wind was blowing, times the eagle flew out of the night.
And so along the way to Umbridge Hill, you find Ori jumps out of the forest.
No. Yeah, you were trying to track us.
okay, cool.
Okay.
Bing.
Ori, long time no see. Welcome to the adventure.
Weird singing in the forest. Adventure.
And the Umbridge Hill map should be up or should be loading for you guys.
Let's
Is
see
it
it.
up for
Appears
you
to be
guys yet?
mostly up.
Sea green.
Yeah, it's green. There's not a lot here. There's some blacked out spaces at the top or at the bottom of the map. And below the inserted box, the characters are all there. And we have Egg and Ice and Sprite, which I'm going to put into the extra inserted box. But you are at the bottom of the hill, and we see Fjord, Ori, Abiona, Baldwin, and Sir Scott Sillywanker the Third. Um,
Third.
Bird.
the third, he's the third.
There
All
were
right,
three
and
of them.
so here you are. If you want to just kind of look around, anything you want to do as you're approaching Umbridge Hill.
Is that windmill there or is that somewhere else?
No, so at the top of the hill,
Polly.
actually, let me not unfog that. At the top of the hill, you can see a windmill rising above.
Okay. Would that be to the south, straight south, or to the southwest?
I'm gonna move you guys all because you're actually coming. You guys are coming from the southwest. You guys are coming from the southeast, actually. You're not in that location, so I don't know if I can rotate the map or something. There's just more space there from that side, but you guys are actually coming from the southwest. So just kind of like, or you're coming from the southeast. So just imagine that the map is like flipped
So we're from here.
180 degrees. Yeah.
Okay, so just move us there.
You're, yeah, you guys can all move.
Can we though? Can we?
Okay, so is the windmill the large dark object we see to our left? Or is that further on the hill where those
The,
that stone wall is?
if you look further to the farthest side, to the farthest left of the map, you see a windmill rising. You know, you
Okay.
can see this big square structure. You see the windmill vanes spinning around. And as you kind of come to the top of the hill, I can unfog it over here.
And what is this? Oh, that's not a building? That's a
No,
stone
those
circle.
are just like cairns and stuff.
Oh.
You can just see that like this is like kind of like old. You can see there's like graves or something or burial mounds and stuff like that, but it's really old. It's not anything recent.
Large worn rocks in a circle-ish kind of thing? Circle?
Yeah, it's just like you can kind of see that little rocky out hills and things like that.
But you're saying those are graves?
Yeah, those are like cairns, but it's like really old. And so a lot of it's got kind of grown over with grass and stuff. Sometimes you can see like the rocks still peeking out.
Can we tell from the undulation
see
of the
that-
land whether there might be area below the rocks, like real cairn?
Yeah, like below, these are like piles of rocks, and the rocks, these piles are really old. So there's like grass that's grown over, but you can still poke around if you want to, and you can see that there's rock underneath. There are piles of rocks here. So there are a bunch of piles of rocks on top of this hill. And then further on another part of the hill, you see a windmill.
Well, I mean, I don't think we need to disturb the
Yeah, it's the
graves.
yeah, you don't disturb it.
So let's continue on to check out that windmill.
Someone disappeared.
Let's walk around.
Pete disappeared.
Back.
And he is returning.
Hello?
Hello, Peter.
All of that.
Yord. And he's back.
Yeah, I'm the only one walking.
So as you start getting closer to the walls, you see
What?
I don't know what that is.
There-
Bat.
There's a dude.
You see at the front door of the windmill, there's this large lion-shaped object with wings. And on the second floor, and you see this thing is kind of like clawing at the doors, and you hear this voice say, "Open up! I'm hungry and I want to eat you all up. Or I'll huff and I'll knock your windmill down." And you see from a window on the second floor, there's this woman up there, and she's saying, "A little help, guys?"
So damsel in
What do you wanna do?
distress and Ori, you want to go befriend that thing?
Maybe.
Talk to it.
And so if you see, it's a lion-shaped body. There are big wings on it. There's a tail, and as you look at the tail, you see that there are many, many spikes coming out of the tail. And what do you want to do?
Run away! Run away!
It was
And you say,
speaking.
open the door! I'm going to eat everything up inside.
Dude,
And you guys are getting this close, and so now it says, sees you and says, sorry, let me go to this guy. Oh, you look like a tasty snack.
Not by the hair of my chinny chin chin, cat.
well, screw
All
this
right,
guy.
are you guys going to do anything?
Yes,
I'm gonna
Or-
pull my axe.
I'm going
Top
to boomity boom 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 him.
All right. You are getting ready to attack it?
Yep. I'm not getting
All right,
ready.
let's roll initiative.
I'm not getting ready to attack. I'm just gonna nail him.
All right, let's have everyone roll initiative.
I rolled really high.
I rolled really low.
11.
Oh.
11.
Let's get your initiative bonuses, guys.
Yeah, it won't help me.
Okay, so it's
So,
Ori.
can you tell me your initiative numbers?
11.
All right, so
One.
Abiona's 11. Okay.
One.
Ori, what are
Silly
you?
Wanker's 11.
14.
One.
All right, Ori is 14.
Okay,
Baldwin,
check to see if you have a plus on your initiative roll.
For my one?
yours is a 1. And Baldwin, what were you?
10.
Baldwin is 10.
Where is it?
So Silly Wanker and Abiona, you are both which number?
11.
I'm 11.
Okay. Which one of you wants to go first? You can decide. Or else
Well, I have
normally like the
plus
guy with the
2.
higher dex will go first.
Ori
Aura
goes
goes
first.
first.
No, between Abiona and Silly Wanker.
I'll let him go first,
Okay, I'll go first.
but I stand farther away. I know, actually I use bow and arrows.
All right, so if we're doing combat, Ori is first.
Yes.
What do you want to do?
Are we gonna shoot at it? Because it can.
You do what
speak.
you want. You're first, Ori.
Okay, then I want to ask it like, why are you terrifying that woman up there?
I need food, and this is like a likely easy person to become my next meal.
Oh,
We have to eat too. This is just the law of the jungle, the law of the world. We eat and we live, or we starve. We don't eat and we starve and die. This is how nature works, little girl. I thought by the look of you that you would understand how nature works. So
Yeah,
be
but-
off and lead me to my meal, or face destruction.
Just
okay, he's
nail it.
angry.
Just nail her. Nail him.
Okay,
Ori, is there anything else you want to say?
Die.
okay. Can I?
Your time there.
It's not an animal. It's a monster, so you can kill it.
Oh.
But it's big, it means it's intelligent.
It's an intelligent
intelligent.
monster who's eating people's.
The spell won't work on something that's too intelligent.
It's too intelligent.
All right,
You can't
so,
befriend it.
If you're doing animal friendship, it's not an animal. You can
Okay.
tell it's not an animal. It's a
Yeah.
creature. It's a monster.
It's like Herman Monster. It's
Um,
been made up of different animal parts.
Riddle
Okay,
smash. Give me a monster smash. A monster smash.
I'll slingshot it. Okay, it's yeah, shoot with my sling.
All right, roll to hit.
Okay, the
Abiona, can you clear your die? And Ori, that 14 is
yeah, I got 15. Oh wait, 15 plus.
all right. You hit. Roll your damage with the sling.
The sling is
1d4.
1d4 plus 2. Okay, 1d4. And plus 2 is 5.
Okay, it's the Manticore's turn. And with this, he launches himself into the air and
Oh,
flies
okay.
straight up. And his movement is 50 feet. So he's kind of like flying around. Oh, this is going to go over here. Kind of around to the side of the windmill. And it's going to attack Ori because you attacked it. And you see that
That
he
far away?
flicks his tail and 3 spikes come flying from the tail towards you.
Dodge.
Okay.
That far away?
Can I dodge it?
Let me see. Okay. And so I'm going to roll 3 attacks. First one's 17, 13, and last one is a 1. What's your AC, Ori?
AC 15.
All right, it
Ooh.
hits you twice, and it
Wow.
does
No, she has plus, right? Do you have plus?
What plus?
7. It does 13 points of damage to you from 2 spikes.
13 points?
Yeah.
Yes, you take 13 points of damage. Are you still alive?
I think I'm dead. I
So
have
I'm
10 HP.
What's your armor class? I mean
This is 15.
your hit points.
He got hit twice. She got hit twice.
Hit points is 10.
All right. You are down.
You are
Okay.
dark.
I thought you leveled up. Did you level up?
It didn't do anything. I think.
Probably not.
She didn't change her hit points.
she's still first level.
She leveled up, but she didn't change her hit points because she wasn't playing to roll in front of Michael.
All right, so just roll your hit points for level 2 right now.
How do you
So
do
you
that?
can choose your roll or my roll. So it's a D8, right? So roll a D8 and tell me if you want your roll or my roll.
I don't know.
Oh, 5, just good enough. Okay.
5.
Mhm.
Oh, that's how much I added to?
Yeah, that's how
Yes.
many hit points you add.
Plus your constitution
Okay,
bonus, if any.
Where is that?
What's your constitution?
Oh, I can't see it. Oh, it's plus 2.
So 7.
Right, so now you have 17 hit points
Oh,
total.
So
So
she
you've taken
has-
13 hit points. You're not dead, but you are badly wounded.
okay.
I wouldn't say she was badly wounded. That's a pretty good wound.
And the manticore is like flying behind the tip of the windmill.
Wait, it can move again?
Yeah.
It has 50 feet of movement on its turn, so it can move, strike, and continue with its movement. So it's 50 feet of movement that it can split any way it wants during its turn. You also have 30 feet of movement that you can split. So you can use like 5 feet of movement, attack, and then spend 25 feet more. Or, spend all 30 at once and then attack, or attack and then spend 30 feet of movement. It's up to you. It's like 50 feet of movement. Use it however you want during your turn. All right, we go on. It's Sillywanker's turn.
Well, he's too far for me to hit.
You can go help Ori.
Okay.
Well, I guess the firebolt will hit, but I wanted to do something else.
Hold on.
So I will firebolt him.
All right. Roll Firebolt at -4 because it's obscured by the windmill.
Okay. Three.
You miss. The Firebolt shoots towards it, but your aim is a little bit off, and you kind of hit a chip off the roof of the windmill. Abiona, your turn.
I'm gonna use my bow and arrow first.
From where you are, you cannot see it. All right.
Oh, really? Nothing at all?
It's like kind of flitting in and out. So again, if you want to take a shot, you'll be at -4.
No, it doesn't really hurt. I can still
Yeah,
try.
fine.
I got +7 to hit.
You got +7? How do you have +7 to hit?
I don't know.
Oh, yes, I see. Yeah, you have like the archery weapon
Yeah.
style.
Let me see if I hit. So 18 minus 4 is 14. Did I hit?
Let me just check the AC again. You just hit it.
Ooh. So 1d8, I think it's +3. Yeah, 1d8 +3. Oh, 9 points.
Ooh.
I did 9 points of damage.
Okay. It's Baldwin's turn.
And then I yell, we should go inside the windmill. If you can hit it, don't get hurt.
I'm going to cure wounds on
Maybe
Ori.
move inside the windmill.
Okay,
I'm
roll
right
your-
there. I can cure wounds on Ori, help her, then I can go inside the windmill. But the door is locked, right?
Yes, the door is locked. Otherwise, the manticore would be inside eating the woman.
Right. So 10 hit points for Ori.
Ooh, wow. Nice roll.
Thank you.
All right, it is Fjord's turn.
And
Fjord, how,
But I am going to the door, and I'm going to ask the nice lady to let me in.
Okay, it's Fjord's turn.
okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay. How tall is this windmill?
it's 3 stories.
Ooh, that's pretty tall.
Yeah.
You're gonna want to try to climb up it. Does it look like gonna try to jump up it and jump on top of them, but that's a bit much to go.
Yeah, and you know, if you go inside the windmill, maybe you can just like take the steps.
That's the
Yeah.
next thing I was gonna think of because Baldwin just asked her, did she answer the door?
She hasn't answered yet.
I'll pound on it with him. Lady, let us in. We can get him from the inside.
Okay, so run up to the door with Baldwin. All right, it's back to the top of the round. Ori, your turn.
follow everyone.
Do you have open lock?
Like, I can try. What? I mean, there's the arch and stuff.
All right, so you do not see the woman in the window on the second floor anymore.
Okay, she's coming down to open the door.
Or she's
All right,
just...
Ori, is there anything else you want to do on your turn?
Oh, I'll just do what everyone's doing.
We just
Okay,
go.
Manticore pops out again, and it's going to spike Abiona.
Just check my arm.
Try, Mike Abiona. Try.
What's your AC, Abiona?
14.
It hits you twice.
Mm.
And you take a total of 10 points. No, you take a total of 12 points. 12 points of damage. Yeah, 12 points of damage.
Good. 12 plus.
Bloodthirsty DMs.
And then it's like flying back behind the windmill again.
Chicken shit monsters.
So I can still walk, okay. I'll walk towards the door of the windmill.
Okay, Sillywanker, it's your turn.
I will move 30 feet this direction towards, and that will be my move.
Abiona, your turn.
I'll take another shot before the door opens.
You can't see it from where you are.
Oh,
You're like right up against the windmill,
then
and he's on the other side.
the magic cure wound scroll. So how many points can I get back from that?
It's a cure wound scroll. So whatever, I think it's 2d4 plus 2.
Oh, so I have to roll, right?
Cure Wounds is 1d8 plus 2. Plus spell level.
Oh, okay, all right, that's a potion. Yeah, it's a scroll, which is the spell. So
It was 1d8 plus 4.
Plus 2.
1d.
Okay, I got 8 points back.
Okay.
I'm down -4 now.
Now it is Baldwin's turn.
Okay, so the lady has not opened the thing. I cannot do anything. I'm not going to run after the manticore and get exposed. So I'm yelling for the lady. Please open the door and we'll help you.
Your turn.
How thick does this door look?
Well, it was thick enough to withstand the claws of the manticore.
We don't want to destroy the door.
Does it look like there's a low-level window that a short, small dwarf could climb to and break into?
Yeah, second
No.
floor.
Yeah, there's windows on the second floor.
Does it look
There
like
are
the-
arrow slits on the first floor of the windmill, but I don't think a dwarf can climb through the arrow slit.
No.
You have feather fall, so you don't have to worry about falling.
I do? I didn't know that.
No, I thought Sillywanker got the feather fall.
Sillywanker has it.
Okay. Well, Thunderbus. No. If I have,
Attempt to
Flying.
open the door and
I don't want to sit here and bang on the door all day long. Hell's bells. I'm going to go ahead and grab my shield, put it on one arm, put my axe in the other one. I'm going to say, okay, guys, I'm going to try to scare this guy to come around the other side. Be prepared to hit him with everything you got. And then I'm going to go over here as far as I can go.
So you can go 5 squares.
Well, that's
So you
about
can't
5.
quite get that far. You can't quite get that far.
Whoa.
1, 2. Yeah.
That
about
look
there.
better?
Yeah. And you're yelling and screaming or something?
Hell yeah. He's at, put his at.
All
Hey
right,
guys.
and so at this point, you hear stuff happening on the other side of the door, and the door opens. And there's a woman standing there that looks like the character, kind of like a green dress, blonde hair. She's youngish, you know, maybe like late 20s, early 30s. And she says, "Come in before the manticore eats us all."
Okay, maybe you should come back.
All right, it's
Well,
top of the round, or it's your turn.
might make it back in.
Oh, um,
Just go in. I guess we all go in.
Okay.
I guess go inside if you want to go in.
And I go and find an arrow split up there. And find a location I can see the manticore. It's like, are these the arrow split here?
Yeah, those are arrow slits.
So he's in the back, so I'll try this one, see if I can find him. Ah, maybe this one is closer.
All right. Sure. Silly Wanker, is actually your turn. Actually, it's the Manticore's turn.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's the Manticore's turn.
Yeah, he's going to come over here. He sees Silly Wanker over there looking stupid.
I'm behind buildings there, man. He gonna have that.
When the
Gonna have
door
a
open,
negative.
he should be moving in here.
All right, then he's going to come over here. He's above you, and he's gonna spike at you.
Yeah, but that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13.
What's your
That's
AC?
more than what?
What's your AC?
He flew too far, too much. That's his turn.
He can fly 50. He can fly 10 squares.
Okay, that's more than 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
All right, then he's here. Silly
but
Wanker,
that's
what's your
still 10.
AC?
I'm sorry, you can't change it. He took
You said he couldn't fly that far. Silly
move.
Wanker, what's your
He
AC?
took his move. He took his turn to move that far. My
He's
turn.
hiding behind the rock.
It's my turn.
No, Silly Wanker, he is gonna spike you from the air. What's your AC?
No. He can't. He took his turn to move more than 120 feet. To more than 10 squares. So his turn is over. It's my turn.
It's not. So if you said he flew too far, I'm gonna move him back, but he's still gonna spike at you. So
Can't
what's your
do that.
AC?
Okay, then
Yes,
I'm
you.
going to say I moved inside of the building. You can't do that.
So why don't you take shelter?
I can't. Because if it's my turn, yes, I can move.
Yeah.
He
So
moved
over here,
too far.
he's over here. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
Oh,
7.
he was over here first.
He was over here.
That's where you put him.
He started over here.
Yes, count your squares.
1,
You put him over
2,
here.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 is
10,
here.
11. 1, 2, 3, 4,
That's
5,
too
6,
far, Michael. That's more than 10.
10, 11. 11.
All right, over here.
I think
No.
one issue is Michael is counting diagonals.
Yeah, you should not count diagonals.
You get
I
like
don't-
one free diagonal that counts as just a move, and then after that, a diagonal is 2.
Yep, but you had him up here.
All right, so I moved him too far. It was just kind of general, so let's not pick at that. I'll move him here. He will still spike you.
No,
So,
he
what's your
can't.
AC?
His turn was to move that far. Can't do two
He
things.
can move, and then he does an action.
It's okay, he won't hit you.
All
You got a
right.
shield.
So Scott, you can move and
On your
attack.
turn. Yes.
No,
Yeah.
he moved. He took his whole turn to move that far.
Yes, he used his whole turn to do his
Move-
movement. After
Move
you
more
do a
than his
movement,
maximum.
he moved his max movement, and then he does an attack. That's how the
I'm saying
rules
he
work,
moved
Scott.
More than his max,
Scott,
so that's
I
his turn.
posted this in the Phandalin chat once. It's the cheat sheet for combat, and you have move and attack.
Yeah, but I know that. You can move
Okay.
and attack. but
Let's
unless
like
you
not
move-
mess with that. So if I
unless
just
you move
randomly moved
beyond
him,
your movement.
all right, I just randomly moved him. If you have an issue with that, I'll move him exactly 10 squares. And so now he is spiking you. So what's your AC?
Okay.
I think
Billy
it's
Wanker, what's your AC?
16.
I'm looking
He
for it.
missed
Hang on.
3 times. What's your AC?
I'm looking for it. Wait on.
I think it's quite high.
It's on the
11.
first page of your character
I
sheet.
know. That's where I'm going.
I think it's like 18.
11.
Oh, really?
All right, the first 2
Yeah, I'm a
spikes
wizard.
miss,
Sorceress.
Jesus.
and the last spike hits you.
Okay.
And he does 10 points of damage to you.
Okay.
It is now Silly Wanker's turn.
I will whisper to him. They do a saving throw for wisdom.
What's the range of your spell?
60 feet.
And he rolled a 1. You did Dissonant Whisper?
Yes.
And what does the spell do? Can you describe what the spell does?
Yeah, it says he's wrecked with terrible pain. If he fails to save a throw, he takes 3.d6 psychic damage. He's unable to move, so his next turn is not allowed.
He's unable to move?
He's unable to maneuver for 1 turn.
Okay, and then what happens?
He falls over
Then
dead.
he's in pain for 1 turn. He gets
Okay.
3.d6 psychic power, but I never used. I'm not really sure how that works. Is that just
You just throw 3d6 of damage. And
Okay.
there's different kinds of damage. So psychic damage affects him mentally. It kind of like burns into his mind. So some creatures are resistant to different kinds of damage. Very few creatures are resistant to psychic damage. So for example, if it's poison damage, dwarves are resistant to poison, for example. So you only do half damage.
Okay.
I
He
thought
did-
that you're using Dissonant Whispers, right?
Right.
I thought Dissonant Whispers made him run away immediately.
That's what I thought too.
Yeah, what are you reading? Because you're saying he can't move. That doesn't sound like Dissonant Whispers to me.
It's I'm reading right off the player sheet. 1 creature of your choice within range, racked with terrible pain. The target must make a wisdom saving throw. On a failed save, he must take 3d6 psychic damage. He must immediately use its reaction, if available, to move as far as its speed's allowed away from you. I guess it does run away.
Yes.
Creature doesn't move.
All right, so roll your damage, and then he will use his reaction and run away.
Right. So my damage was 12.
Okay, he takes 12 points of damage, and then he uses his reaction and flees.
Can I take a shot when he's flying away?
It's her turn.
He's 10 squares directly away from you.
Wait,
Okay,
he has
it's Abiona's turn.
he has a full movement.
Yeah, he says he has to use his entire movement to flee. That's what the spell says.
We'll at least take another turn for him to get back to us.
2.
All right, Abiona, it's your turn.
I want to take a shot. How far is it now?
Fire away. He's like, I don't know. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
13.
7, 8,
I
9,
have a
10.
150-meter range.
She can
Shoot
do
it.
it. She can do it.
Okay, then Roll to hit. Come on. No, I dropped the arrow. I never used an arrow split before, so I'm not very skillful.
Okay, it's Baldwin's turn.
Baldwin's not gonna run out there, and my spells don't have that range.
Go help the wounded wizard then.
Yeah, I can't. He's out of my range, and so Silly Wanker can come to me. I'm not gonna run out there.
Okay, Fjord, your turn.
I think that's about as much as I can do. For the moment.
All right. All right. Anything else you want to do before it's Ori's turn?
I don't think I really have much that I want to do, so no.
All right, Ori, it's your turn.
Okay.
Can you hear yourself?
I'm healed, kind of. Okay, so the monster is far away now.
Pretty far away.
Oh, I don't think I can do anything to it then.
All right, it's my turn.
Okay.
Monster flies away. Silly Wanker, your turn.
I move inside the building.
And you see the monster kind of like going off over a hill. And we are now all back. You guys are now inside the building. And the woman says, "Oh, thank you for your help in driving off the manticore. It's a very, very irritating creature. He comes by quite often, but you know, generally I've been able to fend him off. But you know, anyways, I do thank you for your help. And can I offer you a healing potion to show my
Yes.
gratitude?"
yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so she gives you a healing potion, and we can add that to the loot list.
Or Scott, did you take damage?
Yes, I did.
Then we're not going to add it to the loot list. We're just going to use it right now.
All right, so let me explain how healing works in case you guys don't really understand all the healing metric. If you take a long rest, you get all your hit points back. If you take a short rest, you can use a hit dice to regenerate hit points. So basically at second level, you have 2 hit dice that are basically the same size as the hit dice that you rolled to gain hits. So for example, Fjord is second level, so during a short rest, he can choose to take 0 hit dice, 1 hit dice, or 2 hit dice. And he can roll those dice and he will get that many hit points back. And so you can use as many hit dice as you have during a day, and after you take a long rest, your hit dice come back. So if you have like 1 short rest, you can use 1 hit dice. If you have a second short rest, you can use a second hit dice, or you can use all your hit dice on your first short
How
rest.
long is
however.
How long is a short rest?
Short rest would be resting for an hour. A long rest would be like resting for an entire evening.
And what
After
die?
a long
1d6?
rest, you get all your hit points back. So every time you take a long rest, you get all your hit points back.
If I do a short rest, I just roll 1d6.
Yes, plus your constitution. And you get that many hits back. Yeah. So for every hit die, you add your constitution bonus to it. So if you roll 2 hit dice, you get 2d6 plus your constitution twice.
I'm going to do a short rest if you guys don't mind staying here for an hour.
Yeah, we're going to rest for an
'Cause
hour.
I got
We can all
So
add
sometimes you want to be careful with your items and not use them until you need to. So if you like burn the potion right now, you don't have it for a fight.
Yeah, that's what I
Because,
mean.
like-
That's why I want to short rest.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll do
Because
that.
like if the manticore flies away, you can easily rest, and you're inside a windmill with the potion lady.
Come back.
I got a 2 plus 2 Constitution. I had 7, so that takes me back up to 11 hit points.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then again, if you want to use another hit dice, you can do that, or else you can take a long rest to get everything back.
And
So you're inside the windmill with this lady. Anything you want to do. It's like getting kind of close to evening, late afternoon. Manticore's flown away.
Why are we here? I forgot.
we're just checking it out because there's a map with 3 levels. But
And so originally they asked you to warn the potion lady about the dragon attacking and asking her to come back to Phandalin where it's safer than being out here alone on Umbridge Hill.
and this is the potion lady, I assume.
Well, she
Does she
is
have
able
the
to make
same
potions of
name
healing.
does she have the same name as the name they didn't give us?
Yeah, she's Adabra Gwyn is her name, and she's the person on Umbridge Hill, the potion lady.
Which is this is the
and
same
she-
name that they didn't give us when they told us to go to the potion
Yes, the same name they didn't give to you earlier.
lady. Okay.
Now they remember.
So we will tell her the warning.
Says,
The folks
oh,
of
I like
Phandalin
it out
told us.
here.
Yeah, but
So go ahead.
there's a lot of danger, and they told us to warn you.
Well, that's really kind of you to come all the way to warn me. I'm used to this place. It's kind of creepy. There's ghosts and stuff outside if you spend the night. But I'm used to it, and nobody's harmed me. Usually, I can fend off like stupid monsters that come by.
A
They're
manticore
generally
was
harmless.
going to eat you, woman.
Well, but I've just grown used to this area, and I'd prefer not to leave. And I need special herbs for brewing my potions, and they're easier to find out here than in Phandalin. Phandalin, they've trampled everything down, and I'd have to range all the way out here anyways if I were to continue brewing my potions. So it just saves me a lot of time and energy just to stay out here. And so I do thank you. And I do thank you for coming out here. And if you do come by again, I have potions that I brew and I'm willing to sell them. That's my business.
Oh, that's good.
How much? How much do you sell for a healing potion?
Oh, it's 50 gold pieces, just a standard price.
What?
Okay, so the one that Sillywaker had, that was gratis. Would you
Yes.
happen to have more handy?
I have 2 more that that have just been fermenting and just almost, I think they're at the stage where they're usable now.
I will hand over 100 gold pieces.
Do you
You
have
have 100 gold pieces?
Yes. I used to, but I handed it to her, didn't I?
No, seriously, you have 100 gold pieces?
I think I do.
No, you only
He's
have
like, I
5.
want you to like chart your treasure and shit like that. And so if you have 100 gold pieces, just, tell me and you can get it. If you don't have 100 gold pieces, then, don't make stuff up because then I don't want to have to chart, keep track of everyone's
Yeah,
stuff.
I'm pretty sure that I do.
I got 35, so.
I got a rock.
Where the hell
Yeah,
is
so
it?
if you guys have like 100 gold pieces, just like figure out where it's coming from. Because I know that, you had some treasure, you got some payment from Gundren for like the last mission, but it's,
Yeah,
it was like 50 total and you only,
I thought Paul was taking care of that stuff, keeping track.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, I can't find it, Michael. I know that I had it.
Did we
yeah,
just
so
get
just
some
like
gold?
check your stuff later. And, if you want to get buy the potions, you can buy it later. Anything else you want to do? So she's like, says like, maybe, let me check on it later. I think they're almost ready, but maybe not quite, but they should be ready soon. But anything else? It's getting kind of late. Um,
Can we get a
y-
discount if we buy both of them?
it really takes a lot of work to make these potions, um,
But we
and
help.
I'm just selling them for the
We
standard price.
get you a lot more customers.
Well, in
She's not.
Phandalin, they know I'm the only one who makes them.
Oh, really? Okay. Maybe we should learn how to make them.
What other potions
If
do you
you
have
so
for
someone who would
sale?
want to apprentice with me for a couple years, that would be like fine. I wouldn't mind the company if you'd like to join me as an apprentice.
Yeah, silly one to make one to change.
You
No, it's
need
He's
to
supposed
a
get
little
an
creepy looking with
apprentice.
that mask though, so
You need an apprentice who's big and
what
strong.
other potion do you have available?
sorry.
Is it
Uh, Masked man?
a mask man?
You're the masked man, aren't you? You have like this big like mask covering your face?
No, it's a hat.
No, you have a big face mask on your
I
character.
do.
You have this big
I don't
mask covering
remember.
your face.
I thought
You
it was
have
a
like
hat.
this big high collar and this mask and this hat covering your entire face. So
Oh.
your identity is completely unrevealed.
Oh, anyway, what other type of potions do you have for sale?
Well, I just specialize in the healing potion right now. It took quite a bit of time to perfect that. And so right now, all I have available are healing potions.
Can we spend the night and leave in the morning? I'm sure we could find 100 gold pieces for you in the morning.
Sure. It's a little crowded in here in the windmill. You could sleep out in the yard around the broken stone fence, or, if you're adventurous, you could go sleep out on the other hills by the cairns.
You mean
Crazy.
Some
the
people think it's
ghosts?
creepy out there and they think they have ghosts and stuff, but they've never really bothered me. It's just kind of fun. But if you're the adventurous type, you can do that. But you're welcome to sleep in the yard, or if you want to do that too.
We
We prefer to sleep
use the door.
inside.
Are you the only
Sure,
person
if
that
you
lives
want to. It's a little bit crowded, and it can get stuffy in here.
I
That's
thought the
fine.
window has 3
We
levels,
like stuffy.
but there's no room.
Well, the other levels are my personal, um, my personal levels,
Okay, so
and I
we can
prefer
get.
that people don't come up there.
Can we do the first floor? Or can we go to the other windmill? Is there another windmill?
No, there's just other floors. The other insert is just other floors of this windmill.
Outside,
Yeah, I
there's
am wearing a
another
mask.
building. Oh, there's no other building? Okay.
Okay, so
No, there's
Scott, you
just this
can
one
see why
building.
he calls you Masked Man, right?
Yep. Yeah, I can. Forgot.
Or is there anything else that you guys want to do?
No, we rest the night,
Well,
I
if
guess,
there's
and
ghosts out there, we can.
or you can go catch the ghost.
I
We're
ain't
not
afraid of no ghosts.
Ghostbusters.
I've got my my pack on.
Are you sure there are any ghosts in this building? We could search it for you.
I've never seen any in here. The ghosts, they stay out there, in the graveyard. It's like dwarven ghosts. It's like a odd story about that hill. Like, I don't know if it's true or not, but they're just rumors.
Okay.
Dwarf, the dog should go out and talk to them. Get subjecting.
You had experience some getting rid of some ghosts. We could certainly just wander through all 3 stories and make sure there's none here.
I'm sure that they're none, and these are my private quarters, and I prefer if guests stay down here on the first floor in like the shop area.
That absolutely tells us that she's got somebody imprisoned up there.
Yeah,
Experimenting on
I think
human
so.
organs.
I think that she just she's a private individual that wants to
Well, that's
She's a
because-
private individual. Why do we have 2 levels in that other part of the map, all darkened out?
Yeah.
Michael had nothing else better to do.
It's no, because like in Nomengard, I put like fake walls there that were jutting out just to make you think that there was a secret door when there was nothing.
Okay, that's what you tell us, but really it's because you're crappy at doing fog.
No, I really put like fake walls there, or put fake black spots to make it look like there's a secret door. Because when we were playing in Kevin's game, you'd just go, "What? I can see that there's supposed to be a secret door behind here, so I'm going to search." All
Well,
right. So, is there anything else you want to do? Can you just like talk to a Dabra in character instead of talking to each other about what you're thinking? Because like nobody can read your mind. So if you want to say something
I've been
to a
trying to get her to
Dabra,
convince
then please say
so
something. So
I've been
Fjord, what are you saying again?
It's because it's the
I've
evening
been-
now.
I've been trying to convince her to let us look around.
And she is starting to look at you a little bit uncomfortably.
Yeah, I would too, guys. This is spend the night and let's see what happens.
And now she's saying, second thought, I think maybe it's better if all of you camp outside.
See,
And,
guys,
I kind of appreciate it if you get your camp set up now.
Before
Hint, hint.
Okay, we just go out and see what happens. 'Cause
Let's
we
set
should-
up camp
So
in the
you
middle
all-
of the cairns.
So
You all leave?
We'll leave.
Nah.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm gonna
All
tell
right.
her I'm gonna stay. I won't bother you. I won't go upstairs. But I feel safer, especially with the wounds that I have, if I just stay inside tonight. Promise I won't go upstairs. Won't do anything.
And she kind of looks at
Rest.
you. Where are the other people? Let's
So
see.
we'll wait outside the door and telling him to come out.
What's Ori doing? Ori, what are you doing?
Follow everyone. And
And she kind of looks at you. All right, so Sillywanker, can you roll like a persuasion check? So roll a 20-sided die and use your persuasion skill.
Okay.
And that's how we see how you do.
I got 3. I don't think I'm gonna persuade her.
And she got like an 8 for an insight roll. You rolled a 3. So
Yeah.
she says, she's kind of looking at like how you have this big mask on, and
It made me look beautiful, man.
she
You got
says,
+2.
"Oh, I'm sure that you are a little bit scared of going outside, but really, the monsters, they don't come back, and I'm sure you'd feel much more comfortable to have your friends nearby."
No, they're idiots. They're liable to kill me in the middle of the night.
No, I think you want to be with people that can protect you.
Sure, then if they are so nasty and you're saying
didn't
that
say they
these
were
are the kind of
nasty,
people
I
who would
said they were
kill you in the
idiots.
middle of the night?
I didn't say they were nasty. I said they were idiots.
But you said they would kill you? They're the kind of people who would kill you in the middle of the night?
No, they just don't know what they're doing. They're liable
And
to
she's like
liable
looking
to
more
have me
uncomfortable and
restored by accident. They're incompetent.
says, "Yeah, I really think that you'd still feel more comfortable outside with those guys."
Okay.
Because he wrote
And
the
what are you doing?
role, so he has to go.
I'm going to do what I always going to do and say, okay, I'm just going to take a nap here. Wake me up in the morning.
And you see her backing away towards the steps, and she's gonna run upstairs,
Okay.
and she
Let's see
locks
what
the door.
happens next.
Okay.
Okay, guys, come back
Um,
in.
No,
Yeah.
we should not upset her, girl. Because we should make a
You
friends
guys
with the
already
person.
upset her.
Otherwise, she won't sell us anything. Just come out. Don't be silly.
You guys already upset her already. That's
No, we
why
did
she
not.
chased
We
us
came
out.
out. But you are the only one that stay in.
And she went upstairs.
So just come out. Otherwise, we won't be able to buy anything
You
from
really
her.
want to stay out in the opening in the middle of the night?
It's okay because we
That don't sound
respect
like
other
smart
people's
playing to
wishes.
me, okay?
No, we don't just think for ourselves because our alignment is not evil.
Speak for yourself.
it could be any alignment that you want. You just like play the character you want it to be. Like how you play the character who you want to be. Scott is doing like a really great job. It's like he's playing his character. It's like wonderful. It's really, really wonderful to see him. It's like
Okay.
he's really being the silly wanker guy. So, anyways,
Well,
you see that Adabra Gwyn has left. She's locked herself upstairs. What do you guys want to do? It's getting towards dusk.
We'll go to the graveyard and check it out if there's ghosts. That's interesting. I'm really interested in supernatural things.
I'm staying inside the building because I'm healing myself. So I'm not going to take a chance. If they want to go and play with ghosts, that's up to them.
My turn. My turn. I'm going over to the cairn so I can start getting my bedroll out.
We pick up the biggest pile.
You guys in a cemetery, you know that.
Sleep outdoor all the time.
Ori, what are you doing?
Are you afraid of the
Um,
cemetery?
I mean, I can go.
You want to stay with
Ori,
the
just
group?
decide what you want to do and tell us.
Sure, I'll follow them and explore.
Okay, so this is like this is called Umbrage Hill. You don't really know why. You heard her mention that there are rumors of some big dwarf fight way in the past. You see many cairns stacked up in different locations on this hill. Sun is setting. What do you want to do?
Break out the bedroll.
Yes.
Okay, so Fjord has his bedroll out. You guys, Fjord, are going to sleep?
I'm probably going to eat before I go to sleep.
Well, we'll take. I'll take the first watch.
Okay. And what are the other people doing? You're all going to go to sleep?
Yeah, we sleep.
All right. Lorraine,
Mm-hmm.
you go to sleep, right?
Yeah, I know. I would have a dream. Woo.
You want to go to another chat room?
Where is the backyard? Ooh, let me get.
Or right now, we don't care. We won't listen.
So, Lorraine, let's go to another chat room. Let's go to auxiliary room 1. Okay?
Okay. Auxiliary room 1.
You silly wanker.
I don't know what you guys left for.
He was
What
obviously
makes sense?
upset. We're getting
You
anywhere.
guys made her upset. She was going to allow us to stay there, but you guys keep wanting to go upstairs. Yeah.
He wants us to stay in the building.
I'm in the building.
He said over and over, don't want you to stay in the building.
No, she was okay at the beginning for us to stay downstairs and camp. You guys keep insisting to go upstairs. You guys You guys
He
say,
said it
hey,
was
we
too
can stay
dark
down here.
before I mentioned that, I think.
Huh? So if you guys should. Why are you going to spend time with ghosts? I just don't understand that, man. You know, you guys are not Ghostbusters, man.
I was just riffing on what she said. I was trying to find a way to convince her to let us go upstairs.
Why do you want to go upstairs? It's her private place.
Because there's a map for it. That's
Yeah, we're
really
I figured
here.
that
You know,
if
it's
we stay
fall. There's a map.
downstairs,
Shit.
something would happen that will be allowed us to go upstairs in the middle of the night.
I mean, the only one who was being really creepy was you. When she said leave, I left.
Well, as I said, I told her I'm just gonna stay because of my wounds. It made perfect sense. She went upstairs, locked the door.
She backed away from you and locked the door behind you.
But I'm in a nice building, away from
I'm a
monsters.
dwarf. What do I care?
Hmm? Are you a hill dwarf or a mountain dwarf?
I believe I'm a hill dwarf. Yep.
Okay, then yeah, you'd be outside perfectly, man. You love it outside.
Uh,
You love it outside. So Kevin says he's gonna come in.
cool.
Oh, okay. Okay, he can't make it. He has high blood pressure.
Yeah, he says it's higher than it should be. I think since he had COVID, he's had higher blood pressure.
Oh, thought it was because of old age.
He's
I got high
also
blood pressure.
he's also old.
Yeah.
He's incredibly old. He's younger than you and me.
I know. He's just
We're back.
overweight.
I'm just having another dream.
Do you want to tell us what your dream is?
Oh, it's the same thing as just this time the the crooked person does not look too ugly. Because he
Okay.
seems to be able to read my mind. I was really fearful last time because he looked so evil and ugly. And this time
Yeah,
he
she
looked
has that stone, right?
very nice and now glowing. Kind of getting really suspicious of the gem that I'm carrying. Maybe we can sell this gem and change for the potion. Maybe the lady would like it. Okay, I'm gonna ask her
Yes.
tomorrow.
Let's trade your cursed gem for some
Yeah.
useful potions.
We won't tell her.
Okay, so we're camped in the haunted cairn.
Are we gonna see ghosts? So we camp out. Are we gonna see ghosts? Where are we now? Is the
Can't hear
cabin
my.
coming in?
Kevin is not coming in. Not feeling well.
Oh,
What happened to? I can't hear Michael.
Michael, you're muted.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So you should have like a new map up. Let me
It's
make
loading.
sure I. It should just be a big blank square. There shouldn't be anything on it.
Oh, then that's what I have.
So in your dream, you're on top of the hill. and you see these two dwarves. Can you see them on the map now?
You mean the ugly guys? Yeah.
Yes.
Dwarfs?
And so you see like they're two guys on the hill. Um, they're
Weapon.
covered in blood, and you see that there are other dwarves like marching up the hill, and they start to form a square, defensive square shield wall around them. And now like the vision shifts, and you're like behind, and you're looking out. Actually, I leave these guys all clear. And you're looking out from behind them down the hill,
Okay.
and you see that they have spy glasses out, and they're looking off into the distance. And so these dwarves are in full plate armor. They're dirty. They're covered in blood and grime of battle. You can also see that there are a few short horses. There are about 100 other dwarves that are forming into the defensive square around them. There are two standards that are rising above this army. There's a gold banner with a number, Roman numeral 3 on it. And below the number 3, you see a chimera, like a symbol of a chimera. And the other gold standard has the Roman number 2 on it. And under the 2, you see a figure of a manticore.
Okay.
And so these dwarves, you can see that they're looking off towards the east through their spy glasses. And then one dwarf, the guy who has like the shield, the red-haired dwarf, is saying, "Your manticores have put up a good fight, but the rear guard has fallen, Girth. They'll be upon us soon." And the other dwarf, he says, "Have you heard from Noble yet? We're only a day's march from home. Runners should have reached there by now." Then the first dwarf, the red-haired dwarf, said, "Wolfnuff will crush these bastards. The Umberhulks cannot be far away." Then the guy with the winged helmet says, "If we only had a spellcaster left, we'd crush these bastards ourselves. But at least we have the wheel safe. Wolnulf will surely be here soon, Tostig." You see the last of the retreating dwarves. They've climbed the hill. They've entered the area behind the shield wall. And you hear drum beats starting to grow louder and louder. And you see off in the distance marching. And you see rank upon rank of armored dwarves coming. They're in heavy plate armor. They have halberds, and they start advancing up the hill. And these dwarves, they have a red banner with a gold anvil and a gold hammer upon it. And this banner is waving in the wind. And these dwarves, they get halfway up the hill, and then they stop, and they get ready. And then farther off in the distance, you see another line of mounted cavalry. They start exiting from the tree line in the distance, and they ride forward, and they form up behind the dwarves. And these cavalry, they have sky blue banner with silver swan and stars on it. And then the dwarf with the winged helmet says, "The Fairy Queen is with them. Tonight we surely die." And then the other dwarf says, "Commandos, shield wall! Manticores in reserve!" And he says, "We fight tonight! For gold and God, we will fight and kill. If we die tonight, we will curse this land and haunt it forever. Ready for war." And then, as the sun starts to sink behind them, you see explosions start flashing towards the dwarves on the hilltop. The darkening hilltop is lit up with fire. You see screams of pain coming from the dwarves. And then the dwarves are charging up the hill, and the two lines of dwarves are clashing with each other. They're hacking and they're smashing into each other. And then the last light of the sun is shining. You see it sinking, and then it shines upon another figure flying out from the east. And it's some wing beast. As it gets closer and closer, this is what you see.
Okay.
Dragon.
We see a
Dwarfs.
puppy. We see Spot.
Fisher brought popcorn. You guys got a movie.
You see here flying out from the east. And it's not a really big dragon. I think it looks really beat up, like staggered wings.
Okay, your audio's breaking up, Michael.
Glad it was not just me.
Oh.
And then you
Yeah, his
Harmon
audio is
is
breaking up.
saying,
Michael,
Ebony,
you're breaking up, and your video is
Just
frozen.
Yep, it's frozen.
a whole
Michael!
square.
Is there chat?
So how about just let me how about cue me in about what's the last thing you heard me say or last thing you remember?
You put a dragon up.
The dragon just appeared, and after that, woo! That
Right,
was
so-
halfway through the oh.
All right, so you see like the mounted cavalry. So this is like elven cavalry that's appearing behind the dwarves that are forming a wall and marching up the hill. And then Tostig said, where did she say? Or Gersh says the fairy queen is with them tonight. We surely die. And then Tostig gives the orders for the dwarves to form the shield wall with manticores in reserve, and he gives a speech about how we'll fight tonight for gold and God, and we will fight and kill. And if we are to die tonight, we will curse this land and haunt it forever, ready for war.
That's a terrible thing to say.
And as the sun is sinking in the west, you see the last light of the sun shines on this figure flying in from the east. And as it flies in closer, you see it's a tattered red dragon. It's not a very big red dragon, but there's a rider mounted on it, and you can kind of see on the owlbear this figure that's riding on it, and she's just like decked out in magic, it seems. And she has this trident that's like shooting arcs of electricity, and she has a flaming staff. And this dragon comes swooping in as the soldiers clash on one side of the shield wall. The dragon flies over, and it just lights up one side of the square with fire, and then it just blasts off, and you see it flying past you. And then when after the dragon hits the defensive square, Tostig says, "Take the valuables and run, Girth. Go to the caves of Girth and Moor. I will follow you there if I survive. Go to Girth and Moor." And then you see the dwarf with the helmet, Girth, and he gets on to one of the horses, and two guards mount up with them, and they're holding on to two more horses that are laden with packs, and they rush through the flaming gap, and they ride to the southeast. And you see
okay.
four of the... Sorry?
No,
Pete?
keep going.
Any questions?
Not that I can say.
No, continue,
Okay.
please.
And so you see four elven cavalry peel off and pursue these riders. And you see the two dwarf guards, they just ride straight into these cavalry, and they all basically clash together. They all crash together, and they fall off their horses, and then the dwarves are jumping up. They're trying to kill the horses. And they're just fighting, and then the one rider, like the general, is riding off with like the two pack horses, and there's like one other mounted elven cavalry that's chasing after him, and they go around the hill towards the south, and they're lost from vision. And now you see you're back on the hilltop, and you see that Tostig is there, and he's in hand-to-hand combat, and the dwarves are in hand-to-hand combat, and they're just like, it's just this massive melee, and they're all just like killing each other. And as Tostig is seeing his dwarves like dying around him, you just hear him say, "My curse upon you! My curse upon you! Ruin, ruin, ruin upon you all! Jublets take you all, and may all your houses perish." And that's the end of your vision.
So we all see the same thing?
You see it, and the dwarf understands it, and you also understand it. But if you don't speak Dwarvish, and so Ori, do you speak Dwarvish?
I don't think so, no.
So you just see all this fighting, and you see these guys gibbering to each other, but you don't really understand what they're saying. And Baldwin is keeping watch, so he doesn't see it. And Sillywanker is not there, and he doesn't see it either. So basically, Abiona, for some reason, understands the entire dream. And Fjord understands it too, because he speaks Dwarf.
That
And
appear
Ori
to all the
just sees a bunch of shit.
Okay.
Okay. And
yeah. Understand.
so go on. Is there, so now it's like middle of the night. I guess Baldwin's watch is over. Anything that you guys want to do is you switch watches.
Yes. Somebody switch with him
Yeah.
because I'm half elf. Don't have to sleep much.
Well, then you can stay up, and Baldwin goes to sleep. If Baldwin goes to sleep, he has the same dream. So say that he also has a dream, and then it's like morning, and you pass the night in this just kind of creeped out, and you know this is kind of like a haunted hill.
So if that means if we're all waking up, I'll ask if everyone, hey, everyone, you have a really weird dream last night?
Yes. And
You under
my dream was really weird. There were dwarves and a dragon and an elf.
Baldwin, you don't understand Dwarvish, right?
No, I do not. I don't speak
Yeah.
lower level
You
language.
saw what you saw, but you don't understand what they were actually saying.
And that's what
We'll
I
try-
just described. I saw dwarves and an elf and a dragon.
I'll ask him, hey, so you don't understand Dwarvish?
No, I do not.
I will try to fill you in on what they were saying, and then I'll try to remember as much as I can and recant that part to both and everyone.
Okay.
Okay, so recant.
Be more fully filled in. And I do that.
Did you? I don't remember you speaking. You said you were going to recant.
Possibly the wrong choice of words. I will speak of the words and explain to them everything that I understood that happened.
And I don't hear you speaking the words.
I'm not going to go through the whole thing because I don't remember it all.
Well, there you go.
But he remembers it because he had a vivid dream. Scott, with you guys on yours?
Sillywanker wasn't, he didn't sleep out here.
I stepped
Silly Wanker
inside.
didn't
Did
see
it
the
happen
dream.
to me while I was in the building?
Just want to make sure you were still with us. I only got the circly dots. I hadn't heard his voice.
Nothing happened in the building.
Okay. Had
Are
a
you
good night's
going
sleep
out
then.
to meet the rest of the party?
Is it morning?
Yeah.
Yep.
After you leave, you see the door slam shut, and you hear like it being barred.
Awesome.
Okay, so you
Well,
can.
then we all fill him in on the dream, maybe? Did you have a funny dream when you were in there, Wanker Silly?
Nope. I had slept as I slept like a log, man.
And we all had a silly, weird dream. So, hey, this is what it was like. We all had the same dream. Boom. And then we'll all tell them real quickly. All of
Sound
us.
like you guys had a movie? You guys should have been eating popcorn, watching a movie.
Had
What
some
does it
rat
mean?
jerky.
Yeah.
So what does it mean?
I think it means that's what we're supposed to do next.
Go fight dwarves? Fight the dragon? I have
Go to wherever they all went. Did. Sure, one of us wrote it down and memorized where it was. Because they're all smarter than a dwarf. All of them.
I have no idea what you guys what you want to do with this story.
True story.
All right.
anyways, it's
There's
morning,
a huge story posted to the chat, the Facebook chat.
Yeah, it's morning, and so you can do whatever you want. You can, you have a whole world open for you.
Okay, so they took valuables on horseback. I think we should go check out the caves of Girthenmore, sorry.
But
I'm
It,
losing
it
you.
seems like I'm breaking up. It seems like Brian's breaking up. So is it my internet connection that's fucking up again?
Okay, you're
Yeah,
clear
Brian's
now.
breaking up.
Yeah, am
Okay,
I
'cause-
breaking up now or did it settle down?
Say what?
So you don't understand me.
Yeah, I think Brian.
And Lorraine too.
Oh, Lorraine
Yeah,
is
Rain is
frozen.
fizzed out.
Yeah, Lorraine's frozen, I believe. Kay, are you
Lorraine, you're
frozen also?
frozen. Kay, are you
Looks
frozen or
like
are
Kay
you
is frozen
up?
also. Kay's not
Kate's
moving at
frozen
all.
too.
So it seems like the entire internet in their house. Here, Kay's moving now.
Yeah, it is. Up there they came.
Lorraine's
Came
back.
Okay, they're back.
Still moving, I think.
Am I still breaking up?
No, you're good now.
Okay. Well, I'm not breaking up. I don't know about good, but yeah.
Waking up is
All right, so
What you were saying, Brian?
do we know where the caves of Girthenmore are?
Know
Yeah.
what you know.
Look at our map. About the map. Yeah.
Yeah, is
Listed
it
on there
on your
some-
map?
Yeah.
It is?
Is it? I don't know.
No, I don't see Girthenmore.
I don't see it either.
I know where
On our
the
regular map, big map.
I see Umbridge Hill and I see the Nomengard and Dwarven Excavation, but I don't know where. I don't see. We're gonna have to find someone and ask them.
Ow.
So just let me know what you want to do.
We want
It's
someone
morning.
to tell us where Girthenmore is.
I think I have a way idea the direction because I live in the area and I've been around.
As a dwarf, I will reminisce in my mind and see if I remember anything about Girthenor.
You
So
don't
it's-
remember anything. Also, if you look at the hillside, you can tell it's been a long time since this battle occurred because it's just like you don't really find any remnant of the battle. All you see are like these cairns stacked up and they're kind of covered with grass already.
That map is gone, so I can't do that.
Okay. So we're gonna have to go to a library and look it up.
let's go back to town and see what we can figure out.
We'll go back to town and see what we can figure out.
Okay, before I go back, I'll lock on the door of the potion maker.
There's
He ain't
no
gonna answer the
answer.
door.
And I call to the window and say, apologize. Sorry to bother you, but we are still interested in your potion.
And she
You don't
just
have any
says,
money.
please leave and don't come back.
Okay. Sorry. I know our friend is weird, but that is just him.
I ain't the one who wanted to go upstairs.
You're the one that intrude her home.
No, I think you guys did first.
No, she opened the door for us first.
Anyway, you see her close the window up above.
And then
Yeah.
we left except you.
Yeah.
So you should apologize, otherwise she won't sell us anything.
You don't have the money anyway.
She don't want no stinking money. She don't want our dirty money.
Nope.
Your money's dirty.
Jim, and see
You know, you
Michael,
want to buy?
I'm gonna show her the gym and say, I would like to trade you with this.
And what is that gem?
It gives you some bad dreams, but it seems to be magical. But if you are interested, I would trade this with the 2 potions that you have.
And she says, like, where are the other people?
They are leaving, they're going back to Phandalin. They're not going to stay here.
All right, so everyone else has left already? Have you guys all left?
They're getting
You're-
their packing up, you know,
The
Or we
Cairns.
hiding behind a bush.
in the graveyard.
Okay, so she says, stand back from the door and I'll come down.
Okay,
She's gonna eat you.
Okay, and so later you see kind of her, like the peephole open up, and then she opens the door and says, let me see this gem.
okay, I show her the gym.
You give it to her?
Pretty.
Do you
Do you
hand
give
it
her the
to
gem to
her,
look at?
or do you show it to her?
I show it to her first.
Do you hand it to her, or do you just show it to her?
She asked to show it to her.
Do you physically give it to her?
Not yet.
That's what he wants to trick you. So he's being very particular.
No, she didn't.
So she said, could I take a look at it?
Yeah, I'm very trustful, and she has no weapon.
So you give her the gem?
Yeah, I pass it to her hand. You can take a good look. See if it's value.
When
can
you pass her the gem, you realize you cannot give it to her.
Yep.
Because I
There's
attuned.
you.
No, because
you
you're
just
cursed.
cannot give it to her.
You're
And
cursed.
you just don't want to let it leave your hand.
Because you're cursed.
No, it's just because I'm tuned to it.
No, because you're cursed. You tuned yourself to a cursed item.
Okay. Sorry.
You
This
just-
seems to be attuned to me. Do you know how to untune it?
Oh, you would just give it to somebody else, and then when they attune to it, then you're no longer attuned. So
Oh.
just give it to me, and I can try to attune to it.
Okay, good. But now I cannot because I already tuned to it. Do you know how to undo it?
That's not
You just
what's
give me
happening.
the gem, and then I will attune to it, and you will no longer be attuned. So give me the gem.
Okay, I try.
You
I
can't.
try to pass it to her.
My
And you
precious.
just don't want to let go of it.
My precious.
How about you take
Precious.
it from my hand? It seemed to be fine to me.
My
And as
precious.
she reaches out towards it, you just snatch your hand back.
Okay. I guess this doesn't work. Because the magic itself would stop me from giving it to people.
You're
Is there a magic?
not magic. It's curse. You're cursed.
You are in the graveyard. You're not next to me. Stop talking.
I can
Yeah,
hear.
he's right.
I can hear your curse.
No, you can't. It's
Way
too
over
far away.
here. You're so cursed.
Okay, I'm sorry. I will go back downtown. See if I can find someone to untune this thing first. Do you
Remove
know?
Okay.
curse spell.
Um, you know, come by again if you want, but make sure you don't bring all those creepy men with you.
Yeah, I know.
They
Do
make
you
me very
know
uncomfortable.
a powerful maid in the area that can help me with this thing?
What was that?
Do you know a powerful mage or magic user that can help me?
Well, there's some people in Phandalin, but I wouldn't call them powerful.
Yeah, I know people from Vandalin. None of them know a lot about magic, you know.
You know,
So,
if I guess you'd have to go to Neverwinter,
Oh
but
God.
that's a dangerous road, and Neverwinter, it's kind of a lawless city.
We like
Waterdeep is
Lawless City.
Waterdeep
I,
is a wonderful place, I hear, but that's
yeah,
quite a long journey. And it's very, very costly, that city. Wow, prices are just insane.
uh, okay. It's a big town, okay. Actually,
Waterdeep is more than a town. It's the jewel of the north.
yeah, okay. I know the place. Maybe we should go there. Okay, thank you, but I would
Yeah,
certainly come if I go your way. Uh,
Yeah, just make sure those creepy guys are not with you.
they are creepy guy, but they are still learning how to be social.
Polite.
They don't have the skill yet because they haven't been around much.
In
Oh, I
fairness,
guess.
maybe.
Yeah,
not
that
all the
that one.
guys were creepy.
Yeah, not all of them are creepy.
Yeah, only Pete was.
Okay. Okay, I go back to the team. I explain to them this gym. Maybe I need to find someone to help me untune it. It's giving me bad dreams almost every night.
It's not a matter of tuning.
The matter of remove curse spell.
Yeah, I don't have that. Do you have a remove curse?
Nope.
That's a third level spell.
Yep.
You have to be fifth level to have that.
They are only on first level.
That's gonna cost you like 150 gold pieces too.
If anyone can do it, you have to be fifth level to have that spell.
Yeah. So maybe we should go to Neverwinter.
Don't we want to go back to?
Yeah, we will pass it first.
Go back
We'll
to
just
Phandalin. There might be a remove curse scroll someone will sell you.
powerful magic user there. It's a tiny little village. Because I lived there for a while, I know.
Yeah, but you're cursed.
Yeah, what do you know? You're cursed.
So I still know.
No doubt to put on that amulet.
So let's go back then.
Anything else
We'll
you
go
want to
back.
do? Do you want to look at your loot list?
Yeah.
Can we do that at Phandalin where it's comfy and cozy?
Yeah.
You could.
How come you didn't ask her about the Dwarven War? Maybe she knew more.
If it happened years and years ago, I don't think she can tell us any more
No,
details
it's
than
a
we've already.
fair point. But
This is too late now.
Ori and Abiona, do you guys want any of the loot?
What's the list?
Open the Phandalin loot. It's in the. It's in the. It's in the post in the group, not the chat. The group.
The group. Not the chat. Okay. So
Group comment.
I posted the group link on our line.
Hint from the DM. You might want to take a look at the loot list.
The Phandalin
What?
loot list is a doc file.
Oh,
Hint, hint.
We get that, but you know, pull it up here. Downloading file. Taking a while to download on my little phone.
Michael, you've got that. I have the guiding hand scroll, right?
Yes, I have you marked down as having the guiding hand scroll.
Thank you. Just
Yes,
checking.
Baldwin is the person who is in possession of a
Yes.
guiding hand scroll.
Yes. And I have the wand of pyrotechnics and the medal of the meat pie.
Yeah, I have you with the middle of meat pie, wand of pyrotechnics, and also a scroll with the spell guiding hand on it.
Yes. And let's see. Silly Wanker has the feather token.
Yeah, he doesn't
Yeah,
have
absorb
the guiding
element
hand
scroll.
scroll, right?
No, he does
Yeah.
not. I took it
I didn't-
because I'm a dick.
What'd you take?
Guiding
He
hand.
took the guiding hand scroll.
No, I got the absorb element scroll.
Yes, Silly Wanker does not have the guiding hand scroll because Baldwin has the guiding hand scroll.
Yes, that is
Feather
correct.
token and the potion of healing.
Okay, so just like do whatever you want to do.
Okay, Ori and Abiona, would you like anything
doesn't
from the list?
breathing bubble.
The breathing bubble is in the Gnomon Guard. Yes. You want the breathing bubble?
That's the only one that seemed to work anything.
Just the
Okay,
amulet.
I'll take the breathing bubble if nobody wants it.
Gotta carry it around.
Is it a magical thing?
No,
Yes.
it's a big
Yes.
boat.
Magic item.
It's a
If
magic
you go
item.
underwater, it gives you 1 hour of air that you can swim around underwater with.
It's like a what is its physical form?
Like a fishbowl.
So it's really light, right?
Yeah, you put this clear
I wouldn't
plastic
call it
thing.
really light,
You put
but
this.
it's big, it's bulky. It's like a big fishbowl you pull it over your head. It's not something that, it's going to take most of your backpack to put it into.
Oh, then I won't take it then if it's too bulky.
We just sell it, guys.
Yeah.
Let's go back to.
We can take it to the lady if she would want it. Can we sell it to the potion lady?
They won't talk to us anymore.
Hey, so it's on like
They
mid,
use the stuff.
or it's like 11 o'clock for you guys, right?
Yeah, it's quite late
10:51,
for
yes.
them.
Is it too late for you guys, or what do you want to do? Do you want to continue on?
We
So
don't
let's
know.
figure out what your next step is. So we're kind of like dicking around on top of the graveyard. So you have like different directions you can head for. So you want to go back to Phandalin? You want to do something else?
Well, we want to find out where that place is. We want to figure out where the valuables are.
Wonder how you could find that location.
A library in Phandalin.
or something in this loot because he keeps mentioning it.
The village does not have a real library, but it does have like a shelf of records that in the mayor's house.
Plus, we want to get rid of some of the items and sell them so we have more gold pieces.
Yeah,
If
that's
we
what
do
I
need to
thought.
buy more
The thing that we
potions.
thought maybe we give it to the potion lady and see what she'll give us. Because I cannot get rid of the gem.
I have an idea forming in my head. I believe something in the loot box might help us in this quest. but
Yeah, I
don't know
know, but I don't want to use the guiding hand yet.
Oh, well then I'm gonna shut up now. Thank you.
So now we have the shield of expression, breathing bubbles, the one of pyrotechnic,
Yeah,
and
all this stuff is spread out pretty much. There's just a clockwork amulet that no one has claimed.
oh,
Do
will
I
it?
have a clockwork amulet on the list or not?
Yes.
It is on the list.
Yes, on the list. Yes.
It's the second one under the Gnomon Guard. By Hat of Wizardry. No one's... Who's got the Hat of Wizardry?
Nobody. We're gonna sell that too.
So where do you guys want to do now? Do you want to just head back to Phandalin?
Well, it's
Well,
like...
Phandalin-
What's the
That's right,
duration for this? This guiding hand is useless, though. I mean, we don't know how far that place is. It can point
What's
us in the
the-
direction.
That's where it is, I think.
What's the spell for guiding hand? How long does it last?
1 minute. Oh, no, wait. No, up to 8 hours.
Yeah.
8 hours.
So it can guide us to
If
the
it's within
direction.
8 hours, if it's within an 8-hour walk, then we're good. If it's not, then we'll just get a general direction. Do you guys want to use this? Do you guys want to use it and find the caves?
Yeah, we use it early in the morning, not in the evening.
Morning. Now.
All right, so scroll is used.
And this hand pops up in front of you, and it's pointing towards the south, pointing south.
Okay, we go south. We follow the hand to the caves.
And so what are you doing with your shit? You have this cart with a horse on it?
Yeah,
You're bringing all your stuff with you, right?
Of course.
yeah.
All right, so
We have to, I thought we
the
had to take this stuff
hand,
back to the mayor.
the hand is pointing south, and if you follow the hand, it will continue to move in front of you, pointing the direction.
Follow the hand.
Okay.
Say
You-
follow the hand. Who wants to vote? Let's follow the hand.
The hand is
Hand.
already cast. So
Especially because we've already cast it.
yeah, it's
As well.
leading south. Okay.
Okay.
And then it goes past these hills that you are now until you are getting towards the Stone Mountains. So basically, you're going about 10 miles. And then you get to the hills, and then the hand is starting to lead you up these trails into the mountain. And it's getting kind of difficult to bring the cart on this trail. So the horse can manage it, but the cart cannot.
So we have to leave it and come back for it.
So
Sure
what do you guys
wanna
want to do?
that?
Eh,
Oh, we are halfway there already.
how come we didn't go back to town first, guys?
You are
Too
correct.
late.
No, Silly Wanker's right.
And the hand is continuing to lead you up a narrowing trail in the mountains.
All right, I say we note where the trail is. The hand's gonna go away anyway, and we
This
take
hand
the
will
cart.
still be there for another 6 hours, or about another 5 hours of hand.
I don't want to risk losing the cart. Silly Wanker's right. We should have taken the stuff to Phandalin.
I will take it back. I would, me and somebody else could take it back. You could just find the place that we need to go and just camp out and wait for us to come till we return or something like that.
We will leave a trail
Mark-
from this place.
I'll leave a path. Leave markers.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do that. That way we get everything done and out of the way. And
At least you
Yeah.
don't feel by the dragon when you're on your own.
Going with Sillywanker. Any volunteers?
I'll go with Sillywanker, but I can't.
Oh,
I've got the
You have the
cast.
spell.
I have the spell.
We have the spell.
Ori, could you guard Sillywanker?
Sure.
okay.
You're willing to go alone with the creepy guy in the mask?
Yes. Who is it?
Oh. What?
Make movies about that sort of thing.
All right, so Sillywanker is taking the cart back, and Ori, you're gonna join Sillywanker.
Sure, whatever.
Okay, and so then Abiona, Baldwin, and Fjord will continue up the mountain.
And we are leaving trail marks for Sillywanker and Ori. Ori is a druid, so she's comfortable in the wild.
Okay.
So we do
And,
that.
Sillywanker is. Well, he's comfortable anywhere.
Everywhere. Yes.
And so a couple hours later, Baldwin is able to bring his companions to someplace
To new
in
map.
the mountains. Where is it? And there should be a new map up.
As it loads.
Very
Loading.
And you see kind of like this very kind of obscured entrance. And so there's like a rock, but if you like go past that rock, you suddenly see that there's like a small gap between this big rock, and the hand is pointing into that area, and you see that there's a tunnel leading into the mountainside.
So
Okay. So we're at the spot called entrance.
Yes, you are the spot called entrance.
Then we will rest at entrance and wait for Sillywanker and Ori.
Sounds like a plan.
disappear soon, right? How many hours?
Yeah, how many hours will you wait for Sillywanker and Ori to come? So it should take maybe like, if they are quick in town, maybe they'll get back at nightfall.
Okay, we'll make camp and we'll head in when they're with us in the morning. I mean, at nightfall, they'll come to us. We will have made camp ready for them, and we will do the long rest. And everyone gets their hit points up and all that, but there's nobody lost hit points today. And in the morning, we'll go in.
So Sillywanker and Ori, when you get back to Phandalin, what are you doing?
We'll give the stuff to the mayor that we were supposed to give, get our reward, sell the stuff
Well,
that,
he's
we
interested in
don't
this
need.
hat of wizardry.
What?
He's interested in the hat of wizardry.
Sell it
And
at
he's
twice
willing-
value.
He's willing to pay you 25 gold pieces for it.
Make it 30 and we got a deal.
Fine, 30.
Oh, dude, you could have sold it for 100.
Yeah.
Okay, anything else that you guys want to do in town?
Yeah, I don't know.
Do we need supplies?
Food, yeah.
You had a whole cart of gnome bread.
No.
Just bundle up the bread in our backpacks and just bring it back up to us, right?
No, that's barrels of bread. We don't need it all.
Okay. But we don't. So how much gold piece did we earn total?
They gave you like 50 for the adventure that you split with the party.
Oh,
And 30, so
Jesus.
we got 80.
Yeah, so you got 80 gold pieces.
Oh,
Did we sell
man.
anything
You want to
else?
sell any other shit?
How much did you sell that hat of wizardry for?
30.
Yeah, yeah. Somebody fucked us.
Oh man. I tried to get more last time, remember? He's a hard person to get by, the mayor is. Oh, we did our
Is there
best.
anything else you want to do? You have Shield of Expression, Clockwork Amulet, Breathing Bubble.
Yes, let's see if we can sell some of that stuff.
That's everything. He has our permission.
Oh, don't let
so-
Scott sell it. Somebody sell it who actually knows prices.
Okay, Aura, you go ahead and sell the clock. We need to get rid of the clockwork amulet. The
Okay,
bubble.
hey Scott, check the list I just posted to the message thing. And let
Okay.
that guide you on how much money you should be getting. Because
Okay.
Hat of Wizardry is not 30 gold pieces.
Probably should have known that too.
You should be getting about 400 for
500 gold pieces?
Yeah, thank you, Scott. I'm sorry.
I got it.
Thank you, silly wanker.
Damn, man. I got cheated.
If
Okay.
you go, where's it? Hat of Wizardry? 500 gold, really? Okay.
Really? Are you sure?
You know, there are a lot of different price lists.
Uh,
And
With a
there are a lot of
clockwork
different people
amulet-
who have different ideas of how much stuff is going to be, and it depends upon the world. And you know, if you're like low magic world, high magic world, then
Yeah.
the valuations will be different.
Right, and
So
this is
just
from
one guy's
this
price
is from
list.
Xanathar's Guide to Everything.
Let
But
me see what else is
still,
on this list.
that's the clockwork amulet's on there.
Got 400 gold pieces. If we can find somebody to buy that.
Pole of angling.
We go to the I forgot the building that let's go to Lion Shield
Oh,
think that's
Lion
where
Shield
they-
Costers. Okay.
and see if I can sell the amulet there.
Okay. Oh, interesting. Interesting item. How much do you want for it?
Belongs to my grandmother, you know, got really lots of value and stuff like that. 500 gold pieces.
That's fair.
She just kind of looks at it and says, "Oh, sorry, I'll pass," and she just pushes it back to you.
Okay, okay, you got me. It's really worth only 400 gold pieces.
I just, you know, maybe you want to go someplace else. Maybe try
Where can
Waterdeep.
Waterdeep.
Try Waterdeep.
Is that the next town over or something?
Oh, that's a city.
Okay.
Waterdeep is the jewel of the north. It's like the biggest city in the area. It's like,
What
imagine
would you
Paris
give
and
me?
Shanghai and New York and London all combined together and more glorious. That is Waterdeep.
What
yeah, you
would
want
you
to
give
get
me for this amulet?
Sorry?
What would you give me for this amulet?
I'll
What
give
do
you
think is
50
a fair
gold.
price? How much?
Give you 50 gold.
Make it 200.
You know, I need to see if there's somebody who's a buyer. I just don't hand out gold and just like have sitting around, knickknacks sitting around in my shop. So no, I, I don't have that kind of cash to just spend for some knickknack that's going to sit on the shelf and gather dust. Sorry.
Okay. Guess we can't come to a deal.
Yeah, guess we can't.
What else do we have to give to sell? I don't see much of anything else. How about the bubble? How about this breathing bubble? What do you think about this?
And how much are you selling this for?
200 gold pieces.
No, sorry. This is just, you know, these are common items. And you're just like knickknacks sitting on the shelf. Do you see us on an
this is
ocean here?
useful. You could,
Am I a sailor?
well, there's a lake nearby. I'm pretty sure there's like a treasure at the bottom. You'd be making a ton of money.
Well,
Hey, just
you
keep
know,
it once.
maybe you can go swimming in the lake and dig up all the treasure then. That'd be a good
100
use
gold
of your
pieces.
time.
100 gold pieces.
You know, this is worth less than the amulet.
Oh man, you're breaking me, man. My kids
Yeah,
are gonna
again,
starve
you
if
know,
you
it's
say.
like, you know, it's not
75
like
gold pieces.
we're sailors here. Maybe if you go to the ocean, then this will have more value.
50.
Breathing bubble. Let me think about it. Come back tomorrow.
I can't come back tomorrow. I got folks waiting on me. 45.
This is how you negotiate?
Hey, you should have came.
Yeah.
45.
35.
35.
Yeah.
40, and we call it a day.
How will we call it 36 and we call it a day?
Okay, 36.
Okay, 36. Breathing bubble sold.
Okay, so okay, but we're going to keep the amulet, and then we're going to head on back where our team is right now.
Sure. All right,
Do we need
so
anything else, guys? Ori, do we need anything else?
No, no.
Sorry.
I can't think of anything that we need to borrow. Okay, I can't think of anything. Let's head on back then, before it gets too dark.
yeah. All right.
So we got a total of 80. We got a total of
You got 50 plus 30 plus 36. So you have 116.
116 gold pieces. Okay.
All right, so let's say you make it back. I'm not going to roll encounters on the way. So you make it back to the entrance of the cave where you meet up with the other three. And what do you guys want to do?
Camp for the night, and then in the morning we get a good start and head in.
Yeah.
Okay, let me find your tokens. And one PCs. So these are the right ones, right, Brian?
No,
Oh, no, no, these are not.
that has a base. Here, this is my version of that. You see, your silly wanker has a black base. The new versions have no base, so they turn easier. Do you see the ones I put on?
Yeah, I don't seem to have these in my file
Oh,
here.
okay,
Maybe I didn't upload these or something. No egg. So we got Abiona.
Right?
All
Are you
right.
back?
So it's morning.
Yay!
You've reached the entrance of the cave. What do you want to do?
Let's go in.
Hunt around. If there's only one entrance, go for it. Slowly, carefully.
Who's going first?
Sure, I have a torch ready in case we need one. You need to roll initiative or anything? Or just go.
You decide what you want to do. Do you want to like have a marching order, or do you want to just like whoever steps through first? Please don't move the rocks around. Sorry, I think I didn't forgot to nail that one down.
you can nail them
Yeah, I
down.
follow.
Yeah, I just let me. I guess I just neglected to lock that one. Oops, I neglected to lock that one too. And that one.
I'm a
Any of
dwarf.
them.
I'm used to moving.
Yeah, so I've locked all the rocks down now. So Baldwin's going first.
I'm second.
Yeah, you guys are in the mountain. You're not on the path.
Oh, okay.
Baldwin is leading the way.
Yep.
All right, so
So
Baldwin,
it's
just
Baldwin,
like
then Silly, then Fjord, then I guess Abiona and Ori.
Sure. Sounds good.
all right. Where do you guys want to go?
Well, if we follow the path, I guess.
Yes. So just move yourself along the path, and then when you get to like an area,
Do
then
you
I
guys
will
want to go right or do you want to go up or left?
Can we see? What do we see?
That is
See a big
also
two.
my question.
That two attacking us.
I'm assuming there's a. So what do you think? Okay, so we go up to the two, I guess.
Sure.
Okay. So you are in the caves going through the mountains. Yeah, you go towards two, and
In all
from that,
honesty, Fjord should be leading us.
shoot.
Oh, there's something interesting over there.
No, I used the. I was
There's
trying to
something
use the
interesting
hand.
over there.
So you're saying no, as in no, nothing interesting. Fjord, do you
Nothing
want to go
interesting.
first? Since you're a dwarf.
Sure, why not?
Since you're a dwarf, you know caves, you know the
He's a
mountain.
hill dwarf.
Are you a hill dwarf?
I am a hill dwarf.
Well, you made a friend.
Okay, and so
Bear.
sorry.
Get the druid up here.
So when you get to this point, you see that there's a bear, and it's growling. It's very, very threatening. It's like,
It's just because it has babies.
what are you guys gonna do?
We're gonna remain calm because it's just
I
a
think you
bear.
wanna everyone roll a die 20.
Okay, you're gonna get a bear.
And so it's everyone roll initiative. Tell me what your final score is. Silly Wanker
21.
has a 20, so he's first. Who has a lower number than Silly Wanker?
Everybody.
Fine. Everyone.
So just tell me what your final score is with your bonuses. So Ori, what are you?
9.
Okay, Ori is 9. Abiona, what's your final score?
21.
Silly Wanker, what's your final score?
21.
All right, who wants to go first? Abiona or Silly Wanker, you're first because you rolled an at 20, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Abiona is second. Baldwin, what number do you have?
7.
So you are after Ori. Fjord, what's your number?
We'll go with 9.
It's 9. So Ori and Fjord are the same. Which one has a higher dex? You'll go first.
That's.
Pete, what's your dex?
14. 14.
That's what I was trying to look up, but I'll go on paper. 13.
All right, so Ori is first, Fjord is next, Baldwin is last. So it goes Sillywanker, Abiona, Ori, Fjord, and Baldwin. So that's your order of initiative. It is Sillywanker's turn. What are you doing?
I will
Ori,
put,
Aviana, clear your tray.
do I see the baby bears in the back?
I don't know. You're maybe roll a perception check. Roll a 20-sided die. What'd you get?
1.
You do not see that there are baby bears in back.
Is
Okay,
it
I will attempt to put the mother to sleep.
Ooh, nice.
Ooh, okay. Roll your die.
17.
And where do you center the spell?
I send her on her. Going
Okay.
back towards the cave.
So just like where's the center point? Then it'd be like around that. It's a radius, right? What's
It's
the area of effect?
The area, it says sleep. Hang on. Creatures within 20 feet of a point you choose within range.
Yeah, what's
Are
the point that you
affected.
choose?
What now?
What
Point
is
the
the
bear.
point that you choose? Okay, so 20 feet within 20 feet.
Yes.
Okay.
By the baby bears.
And who, what are your hit points? Can you all tell me your hit points? Fjord, how many hit points?
4.
4? That's
24.
24. Baldwin?
17.
Sillywanker?
I'm probably not affected.
Yeah, we'll say you're not affected. Abiona, how many hits do you take?
Why would I be taking?
I'm just wondering how many hits you have.
Oh, you mean the full hit point?
Yes.
Yes, full hit points.
Full hit point, I think is 16.
You're an elf, though. All right, Ori, what's your hit points? Ori's.
14. 17.
Okay. How many? What did you roll, Sillywanker, for the hits?
Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot to do that.
I thought you said
5d8.
17, right?
What?
I think 17, right?
5d8 plus 2 d8 per level. Okay. Let me roll.
But sleep does not affect me, the magic sleep.
Yeah, magic sleep doesn't affect Abiona. I thought you said you rolled 17.
No, that was the attack. 28.
Oh, you don't do attack.
Oh,
28.
I don't do attack.
No, no, you just cast it and it affects.
Oh, okay. 28 then.
So Baldwin, you take 17 hits.
Yes.
Baldwin falls asleep. Okay, Abiona, your turn.
The bear does it.
The
Bear does not
always
fall
does,
asleep.
right?
Bears do not fall
Man, how many
asleep.
hit points the
Baldwin
bear
falls asleep.
has?
Oh, really? You
Covers the
suck.
lowest.
So yeah, so it hits the guy with the lowest hit points within range first,
Why would you put
and
the
that's Baldwin.
range here?
He centered it on the bear.
But you should
So 20
center it
feet.
by the baby bears.
He doesn't know the baby bears are there. He didn't notice they were
No,
baby
but
bears.
he
He only
knows.
saw.
He knows that. He knows that it's centered on an area, so he can see where the bear is. He centers it away from
He
us.
centered it. He said he was centering it on the bear.
Oh, I know what he said. I'm just gonna complain.
And so a lesson for next time he uses the spell.
Yes.
So, but right now Baldwin is asleep and it's Abiona's turn.
But this
What do
is
you
the
do?
lesson for last time he used the damn spell.
Abiona, it's your turn. Let's move along with the combat.
Animal handling, does that include a baby bear?
Bears are animals. So
So the animal handling skill I have includes the baby bear.
Yes.
animal handling is more of handling trained animals.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's
But
like,
I know-
riding the horse and shit like that. So a
Yeah.
bear, you can't handle the bear because it doesn't know your commands.
Yeah, not yet.
Not yet, sure.
She's thinking
Not
of
yet.
adopting the bears after we slaughter the mother.
But I know something about the animals, at least.
You know maybe the steps you would need to train an animal once you've captured and tamed it.
Uh-huh.
Capture the bear.
Now,
So,
wake up,
Abiona, it's
Baldwin.
your turn.
Tell if the animal is friendly or unfriendly.
I think it's gonna be
It's really unfriendly right now.
We just walked
Oh.
into its den with its cubs. It's gonna defend its cubs.
It's a cub.
Wake up, Baldwin. All you have to do is slap him around.
Bullshit.
That's all it says. Slap him around. We'll bring him out. We'll slap him around.
Abiona, you gonna do something, or do you want to pass the turn to Ori? Ori, think of what you're gonna do because you're next, and after Ori is Fjord. So let's kind of think of what you're gonna do. And Baldwin is last, but he's asleep anyways. So Abiona, do you want to pass your turn to Ori?
Farther away.
Sorry?
I'm gonna move Baldwin farther away.
Just wake
Okay.
him up. Slap him.
I pick him up because I'm really strong. I move
You
it
very gently move him back so as not to break his slumber,
no,
right?
No, slap him. Drag him by his face and he will wake up.
All right, Ori, it's your turn.
Yes, sir.
I use
Charlie.
animal friendship on the bear.
Yes.
So that's a spell?
Yes.
Yeah, I use a spell.
All right, so what does the spell do? Can you describe what the spell does and explain what you do?
It says a 1+1 flat spellable beast, intelligent, lower than 4, save or charm for the duration.
I didn't understand anything you said. can you
This
repeat?
the spell lets you convince a beast that you mean it no harm.
Okay.
I choose the big bear.
All right. Can you, what's the range and can you tell more about the spell
Oh,
so I don't have to look it up?
range is 30 feet.
All right, that's within range?
Does it get a saving
Yes.
throw?
Yeah.
I don't know. Tell me, Kate,
Yes.
does it get a saving throw?
Just walk a few feet.
If the beast's intelligence is 4 or higher, the spell fails.
All
Okay.
right, this is a
Um,
bear.
Its intelligence is not that high.
Wisdom saving throw for the beast.
All right. So you cast a spell. How many creatures can you cast it on?
Casting time, 1 action.
Okay.
Is it on one
That's your,
creature at a time, or can you hit more than one creature?
Can't really tell.
Is it an
it says,
area
all
of
right,
effect?
convince a beast. So it's one creature.
Yeah, okay. Yeah,
A creature.
you said a beast, so that means 1.
Okay.
Choose a beast you can see within range.
Yeah, the
It
big
must
one.
see and hear you.
Pretty sure it
No,
can.
we mean you no harm. We're good people. We're not gonna hurt you if you don't hurt
If you
us.
or one of your companions harms the target, the spell ends.
Oh,
But no
oh
At
one's
yeah,
higher
that's
done
what I
that.
level,
said.
when you cast the spell using a spell slot of 2nd level or higher, you can affect more than one creature for each spell slot. You're only have 1st level spells. All right,
Yeah.
so
Okay.
she casts the spell. Let me roll my save. And it's an 8. What's your spell? It's, yeah, okay. What's your spell save DC? It's got to be above a 9, right?
Oh, how do I
It's
do that?
on your spell list to the far right. It says DC saving throw DC.
Eh? There's no DC.
Ability save DC.
On your page that has your spells.
Yeah, there's no DC on it. It's a
Maybe you
save
didn't fill out the
school
chart.
time, range, calm duration, BPG.
No, on your character sheet.
Oh, it's on the top.
Yeah.
Yes.
It should be,
Yeah, where it says druid spells, and then to the far right there should be something like DC.
there should be like a block that says inspiration,
Oh, okay.
right? So if you look on the front page of the character sheet on the right-hand column, it has
Oh,
armor, right? And below armor has inspiration, and below that it says ability save DC.
Oh,
And
okay.
it should
oh,
say wisdom, and it should have a number.
13. It says 13.
All right, so I have to roll 13 or higher to not be affected by the spell. I
Okay.
rolled, I got a
9.
score of 9. So what happens?
So you're affected.
So what are you going to do?
Be
I
friends.
calm the big bear to not be so aggressive and don't attack
So
us.
go tell what you're going to do. Describe what you're going to do. Say what you're going to do. Act like you're talking to the bear, not
Oh, okay.
to other people.
Oh, it's okay. Calm down, big guy. Or big woman. I don't know.
Girl, big
bear,
girl.
big girl. We're friendly. We don't need to be so angry. Calm down. Shh.
So the bear is kind of sniffing at you and just kind of like smelling your face. It's not growling anymore.
And
What do you
scratch.
want to do?
Kill it.
I pet its head.
Okay. And it kind of rubs his face against your face as you pet its head.
Cute.
Why don't you tell us not to attack?
Okay. Okay. This bear is just frightened. It's friendly. We don't need to hurt it.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's her turn. Who's next?
And Fjord, it's your turn. I
Well,
smacked the
being a
bear.
hill dwarf and knowing something about the beasts of the wild, including bears, I will understand it's probably trying to protect those cubs that I can see back there. And so I, knowing it is now tamed, give it some space by backing away.
Okay. All right. It's Baldwin's turn, and you are sleeping.
I will
Um,
snore.
and so
Uh,
Silly Wanker, it's your turn now. Silly Wanker, make sure you marked off your spell for today. That
Yeah, I know.
used your first level spell.
I
Um,
will slap Baldwin and wake him up.
okay. And Baldwin is waking up. Abiona, your turn.
I'm going to tell Baldwin we already charmed the animal, so it's okay now. But
Okay.
next time, stay away when anyone can use any kind of spells. Just run as far
That's
as you
probably a good
can.
idea.
Okay, it's back to Ori. What else do you want to do now with your friendly bear?
Oh, maybe we can just go further. Do we have food to feed it? I guess.
So what do you mean? Go further.
Just
There's a path. Ask if the bear will let us pass.
So you
Oh,
tell us what
can
you are
you?
saying.
Oh, can you? Oh, can you lead us the way to the road ahead?
And the bear looks at you and sniffs at your face and kind of licks at you
Okay.
Is that a cave in?
in the back.
In the back of that room?
All right,
Tell it it's a
Ori, as a druid, you realize that even though a bear, an animal, is friendly to you, it doesn't necessarily speak common.
Yeah.
yeah, I don't understand detail.
Okay, I point ahead and gesture like we want to go there to the bear.
Yeah, well,
Point in a direction.
let's just go
Yeah,
there.
okay,
As you point in that direction, the bear looks at your finger and watches your finger waving around.
Yeah.
I doesn't understand. It's okay. We'll walk by him. Make
okay,
sure he
we'll walk
doesn't
by it.
attack.
So as Baldwin starts walking back there, the bear is kind of like a little agitated.
But Ori, you keep him calm, okay?
But it didn't
Just keep
kill me,
walking.
so I'll just go over here and see.
So
Is
maybe
this
Ori just
path?
kind of push the bear back here and hang
Yeah.
out
Okay,
with the bears.
I'll just keep them calm.
All right. And Baldwin, yeah, there's like a rock fall, and you can kind of observe that maybe there's like a gap towards the top that maybe you can crawl up and squeeze through.
Okay, can we all fit?
You can fit.
Okay, if
So
I can fit, then anybody can fit.
yeah, it's like kind of small for a bear though.
That's okay. It's not my bear. Oh, that
Okay,
doesn't
hold
look
on
good.
first.
You just all cave in halfway at least. You're big
Yep,
and
first.
strong.
I don't like spiders, so
Just in case, I'm ready. No one else is coming?
Sure.
Yeah, I'm coming.
What? All right, so you go here. So you are in a passageway. You can see that there are webs covering this passage,
Okay.
where you've
I
climbed through.
will make an effort not to get tangled in the web, but I will also keep an eye out for creepy crawlies.
And now at this point, there are bigger webs.
Clean it up.
Okay, yeah. Just
Is that weird?
try. Ah, shit. Okay.
yep.
Okay, is that a spider? Is
The
that
giant spider.
Michael? Do we see the spiders? Okay, I am going forward, and if that
And
sucker's in my way, I'm gonna kill it.
yeah, we are gonna roll initiative.
We don't have to. I'll just blast it.
Um, so it's just like you're first, so we just like see who gets the drop in the other one. So you rolled a 2, I rolled a 10. The
So I
spider's
go
gonna go
first.
first.
No, I rolled a 2.
All right,
Two is
so
much lower than a 10.
so in this round we're just gonna have like Baldwin and the spiders, and then after that we're gonna have everyone in initiative. So Fjord, Baldwin is 2, right? Fjord, what's your number for initiative?
7.
Ori, are you there? Or Ori's, what's your
Oh,
number?
let me see.
Abiona, do you have an initiative number? And
Roll
Silly
your
Wanker?
initiative.
Yes, I have
I
12.
got
Ori is
20.
first.
I have
I
12.
got 15.
Abiona is 15. Silly Wanker is 12. Um, okay. And spiders are somewhere in there. So this round,
Okay.
spiders go first, and Baldwin is there, and he's like walks right into the spider webs, and you see, what do we see here?
Nothing. They do nothing.
Bigger, thicker webs are strung across this, and we have giant wolf spiders.
Oh,
Okay, and so the spider in front of you is going to attack, as well as the other two. So let me check their attack bonus. Okay. Baldwin, what's your AC?
18.
Spider in front of you kind of leaps down and it sinks his teeth into you with a flesh-rending, poison-spurting bite that
Misses.
chips off your armor, that slides off your armor, and the spider kind of like slides to the side as its attack didn't work. One comes from another angle. You're 18 AC, seriously?
Yes.
And another spider attacks you and does like a critical hit that bounces off your armor again. And another spider bounces off your armor. And Baldwin, if there's something you want to do, go ahead, and then we will open the next round.
All right. Then I'm going to just hammer the shit out of the dude in front of me.
Hey, roll your attack. What are you using?
A mace.
Okay.
And that's a
Hammer.
15 plus 18.
All right, you swing the mace and you feel it connect on the spider. How much damage do you do?
A lot. 6 plus 7 plus 8. 8.
Okay. So you kind of hear like crunching of its carapace, but it's kind of still ready and kind of like getting ready to lunge back at you again. Let's start the next round. So Ori, you're first. What are you doing? You're in the room with the bears.
okay. I pet the bears and tell them goodbye, say goodbye to them, back away, and join the others to help them fight the spiders.
Okay, so you can move 30, let's say that difficult terrain. So once you get there, so you move 10, and now it's difficult terrain, and you can only move 10 more. So you can move 2 more squares through the difficult terrain.
I think
Because you can get a little bit farther if you want. And so there's like rocks around you on the ground, but you can see all the action. What do you want to do? So this is the extent of your movement right now. You can go back a little bit,
okay.
Ori, go back a little.
Here.
Like, yeah, so you can get there and you can see
Behind me.
spiders like clinging to the wall. There's a spider in front of Baldwin. What do you want to do?
Okay. I'll try to shoot at the closest one with
Using,
this my sling. Yeah.
okay, roll your attack. AC is 13.
Only. Where I can't remember.
Okay. Oh, right. May roll. So this is like this. Ooh. So
What's your attack roll? 8
I think it's
plus any pluses that you have?
yeah. There's a plus something. Okay. To get a +4. 12.
You miss.
Okay.
So you almost hit it, but it just whizzes right over the head. Next is Abiona. Your turn.
Okay, it has to be melee because it's really close range.
I don't know. You can shoot with an arrow. It's not that close. Actually, if you're in the same square, there's one spider that's 5 feet away. You would get disadvantage on that because it's too close to you. I think
Yeah.
that the other one to the south is kind of blocked by Sillywanker, and then there's another one in front of Baldwin. So they're all kind of, it's a really tight, bendy passage. I think that shooting would be very difficult here.
She can
Yeah, I'm-
stab it. It's 5 feet away.
I'm gonna chop up this one.
All right. What weapon are you using?
It's a sword. I think that's all I have.
Okay. Roll your attack.
Let me see. Oh, shit. 7. Did I
You
hit?
miss.
Ow. Okay. I haven't used this sword for a long time, sorry.
Did you don't get
All right.
pluses to your hit?
Yeah, plus
I think
3. I roll a 4.
Okay.
All right. So there's a spider in front of Baldwin, and he's going to.
Few pieces of rock and fall on the spider.
Right. So spider in front of Baldwin misses. The spider on Abiona rolls a nat 20.
Oh,
Whoa. But
Am I wrong?
I'm
Yeah.
immune to poison, isn't it?
I think those are dwarves.
she's immune to dwarves, really?
No, dwarves. So it does.
Fjord, I'm
2d6.
immune to you.
I won't try to charm you
It
then.
does 10. So Abiona, you took 10 points of damage. And now you have to make a con save.
Poison.
Constitution save. Let me see.
So just roll a 20-sided die.
And then add your bonus for con.
I don't have bonus.
Okay.
You only have a 10 con?
Yes.
Okay. So roll your 20-sided die and tell me what you got.
12.
12.
She made it.
You made it. But you feel poison coursing through your veins, and you take half damage from the poison, so you take 4 points of damage. So that was 14 points of total, I believe.
Wow, that's a lot. Okay. I have medicine, I guess.
And there's one more spider, and it's going to attack Sillywanker. It rolled a 19.
Ow. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. I don't only get one die. It does 3 points of damage, and you want to roll a con save also.
22.
Okay.
Nice.
And so you resist the poison, and you take 2 more points of damage. So how much was that total?
4 points.
Yeah, I think that's 4. Okay, so you took 4 total points of damage from this spider, and it is now Sillywanker's turn.
I will fire a bolt the closest
That
spider to you.
fireball range is really wide. We are in a tunnel.
Yeah.
Can you just walk away first?
No, he's
So,
not
Abby-
sleeping. He's firebolting.
I'm going to say, please walk away from City Wanker. And
21.
he does a spell, it hurt us.
21.
Lorraine, you can't move now. It's not your turn.
Yeah, it's your turn. It's over, Abiona. You didn't. You hit.
21.
You hit the spider. Which one did you hit?
The one that attacked
The
him.
one that just hit me.
All right. How much damage do you do to it?
21.
I do 9.
Okay. You see like a big singe on it, and there's kind of like this burn spot on the back, and you see like this burn spot is like rimmed with fire too. It seems like it's continuing to burn away. It's like such a vicious wound that you put onto it.
Isn't web very flammable? So this whole
Oh yeah,
tunnel
yeah.
of
So
flames?
it kind of like there's like burning web too around where the spider is.
I thought
um,
this whole tunnel had webs. Is it up in fire now and everybody's on fire?
No, not quite yet, because you're aiming for the spider, and it didn't really. It only kind of burned away the webs that were where the spider was sitting on directly. Fjord, your turn.
Range is not too big.
Okay, there's no spider near me. Can I even get close to a spider from where I'm at, or I just kind of maneuver in?
Maneuver in.
Move. You can move, let's say, 12 feet through the difficult terrain. So you can move like 2.5 blocks. So you can't really get within range of the spiders as you're climbing through the rocks.
But you'll be in range to save us when we fall.
You can
Next
move
round.
a little bit forward if you want, Fjord. You can move like another step forward if you want to get closer. Okay, that's good. And Baldwin's turn.
I'm going to crack his skull open.
Okay, roll your attack roll.
I believe I did indeed hit.
17.
21.
All right, roll your damage.
Okay, where is it?
And Abiona, can you clear your tray?
3, 4.
That's all?
Yeah, that's all. Just 4 points.
And as you swing your mace down, can you describe what happens as it hits the spider?
It cracks his skull open. The carapace flies apart, and ooey green guts flow everywhere. You mean like that?
Okay. Just like that, and now it's Abiona's turn as Baldwin looks at the crushed spider in front of him.
Okay, so is the other one also dead?
No.
The one in front of you is completely uninjured. It looks very spry, and it's dodging around, thinking about how it's gonna bite you and suck your blood out.
Okay, I'm gonna back off a little bit and then shoot it with my arrow.
All right, as you back off, the spider gets an opportunity attack,
Yeah.
which means that it can attack you as you're moving out of range. And so the spider is going to roll an attack.
He misses.
It rolls an 18, which hits you. So you take 4 more points of damage. And you want to make another con save.
Yeah. No.
All right, so let me just roll this back here. And let me say, are you sure you want to back away from the spider?
Yeah, that's good. She's using a karma point to reverse time.
And so there's something called opportunity attacks that you may not have known about. So
Yeah.
if you're in melee with somebody and you run away, they get to smack you once before you leave. So or else another thing you can do is if you want to carefully move away, you can give up your action to disengage. So that means you cannot attack, but you can use your action to carefully move out and not get hit. So you have a choice: run away and get hit, carefully move out and don't get hit, or stay there and fight.
So how many hit points a spider has?
We don't know.
But you
I
kill
killed
yours.
one. Yeah, I don't remember how much I did.
You don't
You did
remember?
4 point on the second attack, and so what's the max you could have done on your first blow?
A shitload. I did a really good roll.
Okay, so it's more than I can do because I only have 1d8 plus.
I hit
well,
mine with a
everyone-
9 and didn't die. So
The most I can do probably 6 points. Okay, I'm gonna
You
tactfully
can run and get hit, you can disengage and give up your attack, or you can stay and fight. So those are your 3 choices.
I'll disengage at this point.
Okay.
Just
All
for
right.
one round, right?
Okay.
Yeah, and so you slowly, carefully back away, and so you give up your attack, but the spider cannot attack you as you disengage. And so you ended up not getting bitten by the spider. You don't have to make the con save against the poison. Okay? Now it's the spider's turn. And, Sillywanker is standing right there. And
Yes.
so we're going to have like one spider, and I'm going to roll 1, 2, 3 means it attacks Baldwin. 4, 5, 6 means it attacks Sillywanker. First spider attacks Baldwin, and AC is
18.
And this spider leaps on Baldwin's back, sinks its fangs into his helmet, and then loses its grips and slides to the ground. Second spider is attacking Sillywanker and rolls. Your AC is below 14, right?
now it's just 11.
Yeah, and it does 2 points of damage to you, and you want to make a con save.
Does he want to really?
17.
All right.
Abiona, clear your tray.
And you take 3 more poison damage as
5
you
total.
resist it and you feel the poison is not as strong as you expected.
Okay,
It is now Sillywanker's turn.
I will.
Wreak
Let me mark
revenge.
off the hit points. Before I forget. Okay, I will firebolt the one that I did last time. Let
Okay.
me roll. Oh, real good, real good. I got 19.
You hit, roll your damage.
Oh, just one.
Oh, Jesus.
Ah,
Wow.
okay.
You blast this spider and you hit it square in the face, and you see like one of its like iPods like burst out, and it looks really crappy, and it's like flames are all around it, but it stands right in front of you and it clicks its pinchers together, and you know next round it's gonna rip your face off.
Yeah,
Probably.
man.
Fjord, it's your turn.
Yeah. Well, am I yet in reach of one of these
You
critters?
can
You can
move
take a
up.
step right forward. There's one right in front of you. Just two. It's actually just one block away.
That one?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so from your position, you can smack either spider, let's say.
I will smack the one right in front of me here on that whatever north wall.
Okay, so swing at it.
Wing. Righty, 15.
That hits. Can you roll your damage?
No.
You should clear
Yeah.
your tray before you roll another dice.
What are you using?
He rolled a d6.
I know, yeah. What weapon are you using?
Oh, battle axe.
That's not a D6. That would be a D8 if you use it one-handed, I believe.
You're right. Yes.
Or
guess
maybe
kind of-
like D10 if you're using it two-handed. All right, so if you have your shield, you're using it one-handed. If you're not using your shield, you can use it
He
two-handed.
killed it.
8. What's your strength bonus?
3, so 11.
And so you take this nasty swing and describe what it does as it cleaves through this spider.
You want me to describe?
Yes.
'cause
Describe what happens with this one mighty blow that you
would have
swing at the
fucking
spider.
Fucking furry burrier you are. How's that?
Sure.
I thought you could describe the action, describe what we see as you swing the axe through the spider.
That's what he did. He said, I did a burr.
Okay. And this spider plummets to the ground with a brrrr
Furry
death.
little monkey from Hades.
All right, Baldwin, it's your turn. There's like this creepy,
Okay,
mostly
so
burned spider behind you.
Fjord's killed that one, right? So,
Yes.
all right,
With
then
one mighty blow, he has cleaved the spider in pieces.
I'm going to crack open this burned thing and put it out of its howling, painful, burning misery.
And roll. You
16.
hit and describe what happens as your mace crashes into this last spider.
The mace crashes into the spider, and the crackly bits go boomity boom boom. And so take your 8 points of damage.
And you just see spider guts everywhere.
Cool.
Okay, we need to do some healing, I think. Are you guys very far down?
I lost about half of my points.
Abiona, how much did you lose?
I only
You what?
have 2 hit points left. I lost 14.
Okay, I'm going to, okay, you come over here. Come over where I am. And I'll cure wound you. All right, so I'm going to cure wounds on Abiona. And I did a really shitty roll, 4.
Okay.
We're not taking a short rest here in the spider tunnels.
We're not?
No. Because we're going to go forward and there's going to be more spiders.
Okay.
Okay, going forward.
All right, we'll just use.
Yep, there's the spider.
We're just going to use the same initiative order. Ori is first. You're way in the back. What do you want to do?
the spider?
You need
You're
to move
way in the
forward.
back.
You need to move forward and then shoot. Go
Oh.
behind me. There's you. If you go right in front of that spider web, you can see the spider and won't hit me.
Okay, I'll slingshot it.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, but let me see. +4. 17, do I hit?
Yes.
17 hits. How much damage do you do?
Okay, damage is
D6 or D4.
5.
Abiona, it's your turn.
Or just walk with them, I guess.
Oh, kill the spider.
You already killed the spider, didn't you?
There's another spider.
Ah, okay. Okay. Do I have a clear shot from where I stand?
If you move forward, you can do it.
Yeah, if you move, you can get a clear shot. You can shoot. You can step next to Bob and shoot and step back if you want.
Yeah, do
Okay,
that.
I shoot from
All right.
to him so
Right.
he won't be in
Roll.
the rain.
Abiona, roll 2 20-sided dice.
1, 2.
Roll 2 20-sided dice. One is 17. Roll another one.
12. The other one is
What's your pluses?
3.
Okay, so you hit the spider. How much damage do you do?
And the damage is 1d8 plus 3. So it's 8. Is there only one spider?
Yes, there's only one spider that you see.
Yeah, there's probably more behind those rocks, but we don't know.
Do I roll damage twice?
No, you do not.
Oh, those aren't rocks.
So how much damage did you do?
Oh,
8
shit.
points of damage.
All right, describe what the arrow does as it pierces through the spider.
Kills it.
It
Save.
got its head, so it just stopped moving.
Okay. Silly Wanker, it's your turn.
Everything dead? You did kill the spider?
No, there's a spider. I think it's still alive.
Abiona, what happened when you shot the spider with your arrow and it pierced straight through its body?
Yeah, it pierced through its head, so it impaired its vision.
It did more than impair its vision.
Okay, she killed it.
And
kill
it has like a, what color is the blood?
It's blackish, greenish, weird spider blood everywhere.
Blackish blood splashed everywhere.
Okay, you don't see any more enemies in front of you. What do you want to do next?
Keep going forward. Gonna go by these cocoon people.
Coon people.
All right,
Okay.
so you see some cocoon people.
Man, this is scary.
Okay, guys, I'm done.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
do you guys want a break?
Okay, we'll stop
It's kind of
there.
late.
All right. Thank you so much for playing, Scott.
Yep. See you guys next week.
Okay. And there you have it. Phandalin, Land of Opportunity. Click the like, hit subscribe, share, do all that stuff. But mostly, thank you for being here and lasting all the way through the session. We appreciate it.